To everyone else, it was just a normal, regular day in the city. Nothing extraordinary going on, except for one tiny little thing that caught them all off guard. There was a building that had caught on fire! No! Now, thankfully, everyone was able to evacuate properly thanks to the very clear roadways, but they still had to put out that fire, and in this case, there was only one person who could save the day. I'm fired up! This is me, Marshall of the Paw Patrol, ready to take out that fire and save the day! Bark, bark, bark. Ah, Robo-Dog. I'm ready for the mission! Excellent work, Marshall. Now, before we begin, though, please recite the rules that we have for all fire disclaimers. Absolutely. No fire pup would dare take on a fire without knowing the 3 major rules of any major fire. Firstly, the following fire may contain language that is not suitable for younger pups. Listener discretion is highly advised. Yes, I agree. That's a bit of a weird rule, but it is one that we have to enforce when we are taking out those fires. Secondly, the following fire will definitely contain spoilers for any and all fires being discussed. So if you have not seen the show Fire Force up to the first season, then you should probably go check it out before listening to this podcast, because we're probably going to spoil everything. You should definitely check it out. It's a really good show. And thirdly, the following opinions expressed are those of the individual firefighters and may not necessarily reflect the Dub Talk podcast as a whole. Everybody, fire up your engines. It's time to take out that fire! Marshall! Everyone stay safely back as we put out that fire. This looks like a job for water cannon! Yay! Woohoo! Woohoo! Go Marshall! Woohoo! Just doing my job. Paw Patrol is on a roll! Oh, sorry. Here you go. On with the show!
Hello, one and all, and welcome to Dub Talk, the show where a group of very brave soldiers get in there, fight some fiery demons, and maybe, just maybe, get into some questionably timed fan service. I'm your Captain Megan, and with me I have my Lieutenant Amon.
What? Oh, I'm sorry, a bunch of mascots just gave me a balloon, and one of them was an old man for some reason. Someone's throwing him in a tree now. They're really getting him up there. Wow. Anyways,
hi. Hi, Amon. We have Officer Noah.
So I'd like to be introduced by my good friends, the Prodigy here. If I was in World War II, they'd call me Spitfire! Hello.
Not the Prodigy song I thought you were going to reference. Okay.
What did you think? Did you think I was going to sing Smack My Bitch Up?
No. Firestarter, Noah.
Wait.
Firestarter.
Okay, that makes more sense. But you gotta admit...
Wait, whoa. You made a Prodigy reference for a Fire Force episode that was not Firestarter.
Keith Flint is looking down from heaven,
impressed.
and he is so embarrassed.
It was the first song that came to mind. All right, fine. Look. How about we'll do this in 3 years. We'll redo this for the second half of the show, and then we'll do it with the Prodigy's other fire song to start with. Will that work?
Okay.
I don't know why we
Close
wait
enough.
3 years.
And then we also have, because every fire temple needs a brother, we have Brother Roots.
Wee woo.
Look, I know.
So tonight we are here to talk about a show about magical fire, about firefighters and stuff. So, thank you, Patrick Starr, Officer Patrick Starr, everybody. Why don't I just get into a really quick plot summary of this? It says 30 years prior, Earth suffered a calamity known as the Great World Blaze, wherein fires from mass spontaneous human combustions killed off the world's population. Certain humans developed pyrokinetic abilities during the subsequent event and became known as the Burnish. Wait, this is just the fucking plot of Promare. Oops, I'm so sorry, guys. I read the wrong fire plot summary. You know what? Let me get the right one.
It happens.
Alright, so it says, each episode follows a similar patterns of feature and reoccurring events. Episodes normally open with a scene depicting dogs going about their everyday lives, often playing with dog toys or engaging in activities in the local playground. Ryder, a 10-year-old boy, is advised of a problem by receiving a call or by witnessing a situation himself. His most frequent caller is an accident-prone marine biologist, Captain Turbo, who knows much about the adventure-based wildlife. Ryder always alerts the dog via blinking pet tags. Wait, this is just the fucking plot to Paw Patrol.
And it's not...
I'm so bewildered.
Okay, for those of you who don't have children, Paw Patrol.
That I didn't expect to go down.
You didn't expect her to reference dog Power Rangers in this episode?
You know, Noah, I can honestly
say
say
this
that I did.
Stop it, Promare.
That's all.
She went the full.
She went all there.
She went the full.
Megan, have you ever actually seen an episode of Paw Patrol?
Absolutely not.
Okay, how dare you?
I
then?
don't have kids.
How dare you? I've seen.
I say this literally. Our group chat for this episode has been the firefighter dog from Paw Patrol since like July.
No, you gotta read what the chat group was
Chase
called.
is on the case.
The actual chat group is called Sexy Firefighters Calendar Shoot.
With the cartoon Dalmatian picture to go with it.
That's right, furries. Yiff yiff.
No, come on.
Oh no!
Canada does way better than this.
No, they fucking don't.
Does it?
Maybe not really.
Anyway, here's the real plot to
That
Fire.
hurts.
Are you okay?
But I can't stop.
Where's that
Anyway.
nun? We need medics. We need medics to bring Roots back to life.
Latom.
Oh god.
The Great Disaster is an event that
Alright.
happened 250 years before year 198, when the world was mostly consumed in flame, with many nations being destroyed and most of the planet rendered uninhabitable. The survivors took refuge in the Tokyo Empire, which remained mostly stable during the period, despite Japan losing some of its landmass. The Tokyo Emperor Raffles I established the faith of the Holy Soul Temple, and as it and Hijima Industries developed a perpetual thermal energy plant, Amaterasu, I've played Okami, to power the country. In year 198 of the Tokyo Solar Era, special fire brigades called the Fire Force fight the increasing amount of spontaneous human combustions, where human beings are turned into infernos called Infernals. While the Infernals are first-generation cases of spontaneous human combustion with more powerful horned variants known as demons, later generations possess pyrokinesis while retaining human form. The Fire Force was formed by combining people with these powers from the Holy Soul Temple, the Tokyo Armed Forces, and the Fire Defense Agency, and is composed by 8 independent companies. Shinra Kusakabe is a third-generation pyrokinetic youth given the nickname the Devil's Footprints for his ability to ignite his feet at will. He joins the Special Fire Force Company 8, which feature other pyrokinetics who are dedicating themselves to end the infernal attacks for good, while investigating companies 1 through 7 for potential corruption in their rank. Shinra begins to learn that his younger brother's abducting during the fire that killed their mother 12 years ago was caused by a mysterious doomsday cult that is behind infernal attacks called the Evangelists. Company 8 and their allies oppose the White Cloaks and the Knights of the Ashen Flame, who seek certain individuals like Shinra and his brother to enact a scheme to repair the Great Disaster. So tonight we'll be talking about the first 14 episodes of Fire Force, as that is where the opening changed from a pretty good opening to a metal song with a really shitty animation behind it. So because
the
of this,
song's okay.
because we are going to have to. Okay, debatable. Mayday kind of sucks. Fight me. Anyway, tonight, because we have a lot of characters to go through in not that much time, and I've already literally spent 10 minutes trying to explain 3 different shows and nearly killing Roots in the process, we will not be doing predictions for this. Let's just jump straight into our director and writer. The director for Fire Force is one Mr. Kyle Phillips, and its writer up through episode 14 is Aaron Dismuke. Kyle Phillips you will know for his directing work on such things as The Ancient Magus Bride, Dance with Devils, and Fairy Tale the Final Season. Aaron Dismuke you'll know for his writing on the Season 3 and the Season 3 Part 1 and Season 3 Part 2 of Attack on Titan. He also did the scripts for series such as In Another World with My Smartphone. I did not look up these things before I went, and I'm a dumbass. And he also did the scripts for Wise Man's Grandchild. So tonight's order is we're going to start off with Noah, then do Amon, then Roots, and myself. So Noah, kick it off.
Well, let's just say that I am fired up for this episode because this is a shonen series that hits a lot of the beats that I think if any of our listeners have heard any other shonen shows that have been dubbed recently, like your Fairy Tales or your Food Wars or really any show that was adapted from Shonen Jump, this is probably going to suit you exactly the same because, and I mean this in the best way possible, this is a very basic dub. This is, I was looking for quirks or eccentricities in the direction or the writing, and there really aren't any to my ears. It's very basic, very standard dubbing, which means it's high quality. It's an invisible dub is the best way I can describe it, which means that you could listen to it with the animation and not ever know that there was a Japanese audio track to go with it. So Kyle directs all the characters to sound unique from each other. They exposit their dialogue when there's like a scene in episode 3 where it's like a static image of a building being burnt down while they're just expositing great amounts of information about the company that hires them or their purpose or how they suspect that there's evil people within their company who are actually intentionally making people catch on fire. And that scene is directed perfectly well. Writing-wise is also pretty basic, too. I don't have anything good or bad to say about it. I guess good is that it's perfectly up to standards for what we expect for this content, which it's a weird show. It's kind of a weird mix of superhero shonen stuff, community service firefighters, and a lot of Catholic imagery. Like, there is so much Catholic imagery in this, I half expected Madonna to show up in a cone bra partway through.
Oh, boy.
Fuck!
Look, there's absolutely nothing wrong with fetishizing Catholic imagery like that, but I don't know how comfortable I feel with it being done from the Japanese, from a culture that's kind of inherited the Catholic idiom in their shows. Like, I've seen nuns being portrayed in a lot of different anime before, and I don't know if Japan really knows what nuns are supposed to do. Like, in some shows, nuns are like giving confessionals, or in shows like this, they're more like mages where they've got super praying powers. I perfectly I like that. Like, where else are you going to find this weird mashup? I totally missed out in Sunday school when they told us about this story. So for balancing the weird mix of ideas that are going on here, the characters are pretty trope heavy, and so the writing matches their tropes pretty well. No one is off, no one is weirdly directed. The crazy bad guys are very crazy, and the tough superhero daddies that Megan has the hots for are also perfectly step on me daddyable. So I'm honestly, I wish I had more critical things to say, but this is a good, solid, standard dub.
All right, awesome. Amon.
Yeah, this is a good dub. I like this a lot. I think as Noah's saying, this is this dub feels very straightforward, but more in the sense that it just feels really like professional and well together in a way the material demands it. I don't want to say Fire Force is an uncomplicated show, because I actually find it very interesting. I feel like it's not entirely standard shonen. But of course, it's also from the guy whose last series had a minor character who was a wholesale Twin Peaks reference. And also, one of the joke episodes quotes the beginning of Mulholland Drive for some unfathomable reason that I still don't understand.
There's a Mulholland Drive joke in Soul Eater?
One of the fucking Excalibur episodes, he's like driving and he's passing a bunch of signs, and that's the opening to Mulholland Drive. I saw it in college.
That's right.
It was really bizarre, just because, like, it was just sort of like, I'm not mad, but I don't know why I'm watching this.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention that the guy who created Fire Force also created Soul Eater.
I did not know that. That is...
How?
Look, I am waiting for bated breath for where the David Lynch reference is going to show up in this show. It's going to be something when it comes, I can tell.
I think that...
Tamaki literally looks like a color-swapped Maka!
Look, Amon, I think we've already seen what the Twin Peaks are, but, they're...
Get out!
Get off the stage, you suck!
Dale Cooper would be ashamed of you.
Why are you booing me? I'm right.
Shut up,
No, you're
Hannibal!
not!
Shut up, Hannibal!
Oh my god.
Noah,
But I feel like in the very
Noah,
last episode...
Noah, how did you
feel
not
like-
know this was by the same guy who made Soul Eater? Tamaki literally looks like Maka with black hair!
I didn't know. It's been a long time since I've seen Soul Eater. It just wasn't in my head. But I'm looking at Tamaki's setup right now, or her design right now, and okay, fine, yes, I see it now. Maybe it was kind of hard to see it because of the cat ears.
But yeah, I feel like at the very last episode of Fire Force, we're gonna get a slow pan out from a rose bush as you hear, "She wore blue velvet."
Oh, heck no. I don't care if Bobby Vinton's been dead for years. There's no way they'd be able to afford that license. At least I think he's dead.
I'm sure.
Amon gets that reference.
I got that reference.
Just in the corner, you see a little animated Dennis Hopper dancing around. Anyways.
I mean, at least in heaven, everything is fine.
God damn it.
What have I done?
There haven't been any, like, Amon, for real, I haven't seen a David Lynch references yet, have you? In Fire Force.
I don't think so, but that doesn't mean they're not hanging around. There's a whole episode of Twin Peaks I haven't seen. Who knows what references I'm missing? There's a whole 2 seasons of Twin Peaks I haven't seen now.
Maybe the last episode will be a girl in bed counting her ABCs.
God damn it.
Now that we've thoroughly derailed the episode multiple times.
F is for fire!
F is for fire that burns down the whole town. U is for uranium. Bombs. N is for no survivor. When you're plankton. Anyway, Amon, back on track.
We have fun here.
I feel like this is a really good, well-rounded dub. I think it really suits the material very well. I don't think it feels the need to get like kind of flashy, except when it does, because it occurs to me. I think as we mentioned, I can't remember if we mentioned this on recording or not. There are characters in here who have like very specific speech patterns that they talk in, and I do want to highlight how well I think Aaron has. I have watched very little of this in Japanese, so I'm not sure how much like one-to-one this is as far as like how it's supposed to work in the Japanese. But you can tell like Aaron has put the effort in to like capture, you know, how this is supposed to sound distinct, how it is supposed to sound on the ear. And I think he's done a very good job like creating this, and I think Kyle's done a very good job recreating that in the for direction. I agree with how Noah is saying, like, this feels kind of like an invisible dub in the sense that I sit there and I enjoy it, and I don't spend a lot of time thinking about the mechanics behind it, even when you get those characters who, like, you know, talk in rhyme or whatever, which I think is a credit to them. There's something to be said about, you know, doing good work that does not even draw attention to itself, because it's so sort of, you know, it feels so of the whole of the show in general.
Yeah.
I've taken enough time as it is, so...
It's okay, we're out of the
play more
peaks.
music references throughout the episode.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Alright, so I suppose it's my turn now.
I mean, is there any other roots of justice that are in this room that would like to come forward?
I don't know, is there?
Fuck.
What does a pug sound like?
The imposter is behind you.
There is no pugs in Paw Patrol. Not yet, anyway.
The call is,
time.
coming from inside the house.
Oh, wait, no, he's a bulldog. No, the construction dog is a bulldog, not a pug.
Okay, I think there's like a rip-off Paw Patrol show on Disney that has two pugs.
Yeah, it's like pugs, but it is, yeah.
It's not a Paw Patrol rip, it's... I don't know how to try. I know. Back to your roots.
Okay.
Don't get me started.
Okay, we're good.
I like how this episode has devolved into the mythos of Paw Patrol.
We're all adults here.
How do they afford the equipment?
Shut up and don't think about it.
Okay.
It's
the
a
holy-
kid show.
The Holy Soul Temple pays for the Paw Patrol. They're all just...
They're funded by the Catholic Fire Church.
Okay. We good?
I mean, all dogs do go to heaven.
Shut up. Go, Roots.
Alright, okay. Need to find my train of thought again. Alright, we're good. Gonna start with the script writing because it is very punchy, it is very energetic. Also, cultural references in Japan and the last arc that we're covering for this episode. All of that was left intact, and I really like it. That doesn't happen very often in Funimation dubs, and I really appreciate it. And if other Funimation dub directors, other than Kyle Phillips, are watching this, like, you can go ahead and keep that stuff in. We're gonna get it. It's okay.
You mean like the proud Japanese cultural tradition of punching each other?
Hey,
Yeah,
wailing on another dude is a very proud Japanese tradition. Don't you be a smartass.
Like the chanting and whatnot.
Right, yeah.
When they're doing like the funerary rites. Like that was, I didn't expect that to remain authentic, and I really appreciated it. The show itself is very well cast. It's very it's very diverse in terms of distinctive voice casting. It's it's a Kyle Phillips dub. It's solid, and like Amon and Noah were saying, it is kind of seamless, and that is impressive, especially considering this is a dub that I believe, as of right now, is still going day and date with the Japanese release.
It is.
Dang.
It is, what, 16, 17 episodes in by now?
17 episodes.
I think they're doing episode 18 comes out this week, I think.
Yep.
As of the time of this recording. Shut up! I'm not checking my app. Keep going.
But yes, Chris and Tabitha.
It's a few episodes further than what we're covering, but yeah. Mm-hmm. Still going, still keeping up with the Japanese release. And that's really impressive given how solid this dub has been so far.
Yeah, it is episode 18 this week.
Alright. Like I said, it's punchy, it's poppy, it's bantery. Characters play off of each other very well. It almost feels like the actors are in the same booth when they are in fact not, because you can't do that in a Funimation booth. So, solid stuff all around. Thumbs up.
That's a lie. Kyle can fit a fucking mechanical spider in there to scare people.
Damn it, I forgot about that.
Don't think I don't watch your behind the scenes video, Kyle. So I guess I'll go. One of the things I really do want to, one of the things I also do want to put out, and I think this is a big consideration to why, this show has gone on as long as the same day and date simuldub, is this is also a co-production that Funimation's doing. Mm-hmm. And their other co-pro that went for 24 episodes this season, Fruits Basket went the entire, the whole 9 yards. And despite the delays that Fire Force has had, and I do need to bring this up, and I mean this in the utmost sincerity, Fire Force does have edits to its ending theme after the horrific arson at Kyoto Animation. The show is still going on, the dub is still being done, so just know if you watch the show and you go back and you watch the simulcast version, like, for the first 2 episodes, the endings, most notably, the ending is going to be different because they did edit it due to the horrific attack. And our condolences still do go out to the victims that were lost and who have survived that awful attack. I just did want to bring that up for if anybody wants to know a bit more of the production history of the show. Moving on to the actual dub itself, this is just a really solid dub. I don't think I've barely ever watched any clips of the show in the sub, but I honestly don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. I think all the performances in the show are absolutely strong. I think that this dub has a couple of typecastings, but I also think it goes out of its way to be a little bit more creative. We're not talking about all of these characters, but some of the things, because we're only talking about up to episode 14 for the point of this recording, just because that's where an arc ends, and I didn't want to record, like, an episode where we were, like, going to go halfway through into another arc. Like, I didn't want to do, like, injustice to those certain characters. But I do want to bring up, like, there are just some really cool, like, creative casting, like, Kristen McGuire as you, who is a character who's a little boy, and I don't think I've ever heard Kristen McGuire do a little boy voice. Jason LeBrecq pops up, Elizabeth Maxwell. I don't know if anybody else goes on YouTube and has ever heard of a series called So This Is Basically, by a guy named Jello Apocalypse. He's
that's
in,
right.
Yeah. So this is basically Fire Emblem. It's literally an attack on me as a person. He's in this as a Infernal for a couple of episodes. There's just a lot of really, really interesting casting in this. I also think that Aaron Dismuke's writing is really well put together. There are a lot of points of Fire Force that are very emotional, very kind of deep. I do think that the show has something to say about the difference between religion and evangelism, because I don't think anybody in this show is ever shamed for having faith. They are shamed for being extremists.
There was one character, but okay, Iris gets shamed a little bit, but only by one character who we're not supposed to be siding with anyways, and it's not really she's shamed for having faith, it's shamed because the other character is just really damaged by what happened to the both of them.
Yeah, that's something I want to bring up with that specific character, because I actually do think that's, like, one of my favorite parts of Fire Force. Mm-hmm. But Fire Force is also a show that has a lot of problems with it. And I do think that the dub and its crew really do push past to put on a seamless performance despite the show's big failings, which we'll get to when we get to a certain character. Because holy shit, does Fire Force have a reputation. But that being said...
We will tear into those issues.
Oh god, I fucking will. But I really do think that... I don't know if I want to put this on the best of the year for the dubbies. I do think there are some really good standout performances from actors, I think, put into situations that I don't think I've ever expected them to be in. But it's going to be really hard because, like, there's been a lot of really, really good dubs this year, and it's just really hard to say where Fire Force falls into, but it is legitimately very solid, and there is not a lot of flaw in the dub. With that being said, are we ready to move on to our first set of characters?
Let's do it.
Fire away.
God damn it. Oh god, I'm gonna get burned on all these puns tonight. Group 1, I will just say... Group 1 can only be considered... Are we the baddies?
Your accent's not quite British enough for that, Megan.
I can't do a British accent. I'll just sound like an Australian, which is just an upside-down drunker British person.
Speaking of hot land.
First up, as I'm going to do this in 2 sets. We're going to do them all together. The first quote-unquote baddie is Joker, a man who appears for the first time when Shinra is doing the Rookie Fire Soldier game, saying that there may be more to his past and that his little brother Sho may actually be alive the entire time. Joker is kind of this character who he's not really doing bad things, but he's also not doing good things. He's kind of leaving Shinra this breadcrumb trail to lead to the Evangelists, in which we're going to talk about 3 of them. There is Arrow. Her name is exactly what it says on the tin. She fires fire arrows. There is Haran, who is her giant kind of assistant and tag team partner. They work in a flawless duo. And then there's Yona. Yona is a crazy plastic surgeon with fire who likes art!
This isn't art, it's
Oh
not.
no, he's what's-his-face from BioShock. God damn it, we're all fucked now.
Is he the main villain from BioShock, the first one?
It's not the main villain, but there is one dude who's basically a mad plastic surgeon.
Oh, that guy!
And yeah, he's a real
That
fucking piece of work, that's what he
fucker.
is.
All I know is I imagine him at one point screaming, "It's art" from the Iron Giant.
That sounds right.
Which at one point Noah posted a picture of Shinra flying off, and it says, "You stay, I go."
No.
That's exactly what he was doing. He was flying into the air to
You
sing the
That
song.
scene hurts, Noah.
It was supposed.
You say, I go, Superman.
You are Shinra. You are who you choose to be.
Superman.
Be.
Who does he want to be throughout the whole show?
Anyway, playing Joker is Sunny Strait, playing Arrow is Tabitha Ray, playing Haran is Patrick Seitz, and playing Yona is Corey Phillips. Sunny Strait, you all should know by now, but he is also known as Usopp in One Piece, Maze Hughes in the Full Metal Alchemist franchise, and he's
Now that hurts.
you Mustang, you stay, I go, Superman.
It's like he says to
My
the
hands are sad now.
he says to the bad guy, like, "Oh, I've got a wife and kid to go home to." Why would you say that? And then 2 seconds.
That's how you
later-
know he's gonna fucking die.
That's how you know he's
Some
gonna
poor-
kick the bucket.
Some poor sap's gonna listen to this episode expecting a fun time about firefighters and is just gonna get real emotionally destroyed.
We're not even at the worst part yet.
It's true!
None of these. Well, one of them has kind of a tragic ending, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fucking good. You're fine over there, man. Oh god, where the hell was I? Shit, Sunny Strait rolls.
Yeah.
I think I accidentally spelled one of these wrong. He's also Koro Sensei in Assassination Classroom. Tabitha Ray, you'll know his characters such as there. Nagisa, you stay, I go, Superman. Tabitha Ray, you'll know his characters such as Shizuka Hashizaka in Boogie Pop and Others, Hotaru Shirode in Dagashi Kashi, and Yayoi Endo in Seraph of the End. Patrick Seitz you'll know at Funimation roles such as Agni in Black Butler, Senji Kiyomasa in Deadman Wonderland, and Conrad in Radiant. Corey Phillips, the only named character I could find is Yu Hattori in Stand My Hero's Piece of Truth, aka the Drugs and Boys Bonanza. It's like the brass bonanza from the Hartford Whalers, but with 10 times more ecstasy. If you could just imagine hockey players on ecstasy, congratulations.
That's a horrifying concept.
Those poor
Oh
octopus.
boy.
Get into the cube of shame, you knife-footed ice gremlin. Anyway, Noah Clue, please go ahead.
He was such a good teacher, and he just wanted the best for his students. And why couldn't the world let him be? I'm sorry, I'm still on about Koro Sensei from Assassination Classroom. Anyways, these guys, though, however, these 4 people, I don't feel bad about at all. Because, yeah, every one of them are... Now, so, one thing we should point out about the fire bending in the show, it's not called fire bending, but it's basically fire bending, is that everyone has their own unique way of controlling their fire. Like you were saying, Arrow shoots out... she uses a bow and arrow, Madoka style, and shoots fire arrows that are very accurate and can go very, very far. And I really like that Tabitha... well, first of all, I just like that Tabitha's voice acting again, because for the past probably the past year, I've heard her mostly as a director, as an ADR director on shows like Suridori Children and a couple other things. I haven't really heard her act in anything since... Kato, The Right Answer, so I'm really glad she's back in this, and it's a really different kind
Wow, one whole person who remembers Kato, The Right Answer.
She was the best part of that show, the best character in that
Hashtag I remember Kato.
show. I'm glad you did, because no one, Toei doesn't remember it.
Oh, no they don't.
Ouch.
But,
Toei doesn't remember anything that doesn't make them money.
ouch.
It's sad but true.
It is very, I'm sorry, but yeah, Kato was not a moneymaker.
Toei is the Mr. Krabs of Japan.
I like money.
Money.
So tell us, why did you decide to build a second fairy tale? I'm sorry, why did you decide to build a second One Piece next?
Why did?
I couldn't think of the show.
Why did you?
Go ahead.
Tell me, Toei Animation, why did you build a second Dragon Ball?
There, right next to the
Money.
first Dragon Ball. Anyway, speaking of money, so Tabitha Ray, not sure how those connect. So I'm used to her crazier voices. I'm used to her like in Dagashi Kashi or in Kato the Right Answer. So this is a very different kind of role. Maybe she's done shows where she's used this cool, collected, didactic, and conniving voice before, but I haven't heard it. So it was very nice to hear. And I'm going to praise the sound mixing a lot in this episode, which I know mostly came from the Japanese with the explosion effects and everything, but the English did a really good job too, because one of the things that Arrow's quirk is that she's got like a hood on for most of her time. So her voice has to come off like it's muffled, which can sometimes come off as distracting if it's not mixed very well. It can just sound like, like this, like you're just not picking up the audio very well. But they did a really good job with Tabitha's performance, and for the couple of episodes she's in, she's cool, very kind of out of body, because it's like she's talking to herself most of the time, even there's people right in front of her. So good job for Tabitha for this character that at past episode 14, I don't know if she's going to show up more, but I hope she does. One character who will not show up past this, spoiler alert, is Haran, because he kind of goes the big explosion at the end of episode 14. But Patrick's coverage of him is pretty good. It's a strong voice. It's not as tough as some other Patrick Seitz roles. Like, it's not what's like a really good, like, it's not Joestar kind of Dio kind of low, but it is.
I was about to say, get it right.
I was trying to say, I was saying JoJo's Bizarre Adventure low, and then I went to the character. I'm like, but wait, no, he doesn't play Joe. You know the character.
I mean, the bottom half of him is.
I mean,
he's got the dick of a Joestar.
Yeah, but
you're not wrong.
Yeah, but that doesn't really have anything to do with the voice now, does it?
I mean, Joseph's testicles could be a little lower.
Megan, come on. Bonfires for Jesus. Let's bring it back in here. But yeah, for the brief bits that Patrick gets, it's a good, strong voice that's it's not too, like, kind of evil, which is good because the guy's supposed to be mysterious. He's, because he again, spoiler, he eats one of the fire bugs that basically turns people intentionally
Oh god, that
into
fucking
girls.
stop! Fuck, I hated that scene.
The sound mixing on that again, like the sounds of him crunching and swallowing that thing was like, oh boy. So yeah, for having a good, deep voice that was also kind of mysterious, that Patrick did a good job on that. Sonny Strait also did a good job as Joker. I'm used to his crazier voices also, but usually they're like higher pitched voices. For a good chunk of Joker's, it was a little bit lower than I'm used to for Sonny's. And I know he's got a lot of range, so it's not like it surprised me. And I do love it when Sonny gets his ham on. And Joker, in quite a few scenes, definitely gets his ham on. I don't know exactly what his MO is quite yet, so Megan, you've been watching up to what's come out so far, right?
No, I've been pissed behind.
Well, okay, then. To be continued. We'll find out if we see more of Joker in the show. But the one character I want to give the most props to is definitely Corey Phillips. And I'm surprised that we haven't really heard him in very much other things, because he does gloriously well as Yona. He puts on this foppish, laughing voice that is really delicious to listen to. Like, obviously he was given good content, because that's what the original Japanese did. But he could have botched it. Like, he could have come off as unconvincingly evil or Saturday morning cartoon evil. And no, he came off more as, like, Universal monster movie evil with a twinge of psychotic in there. And it's just very fun to listen to. I would implore you people to go to the episode that he's in and listen to that. I do think that he's got, he's kind of like an art reject, and would people just love the artist? Just let him make art. Not with your face. Not firebending your face, but for the kind that's more beneficial to society, because some people could use some good plastic surgery. Those are the four baddies, and yes, I don't think there's a question mark there. They are the baddies. Speaking of baddies, Amon.
Gee, thanks, Noah.
Sorry. I was thinking back to our My Hero Academia episode when I had you do a villain voice for the disclaimer.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Sorry.
God, that was like 2 years ago, wasn't it?
It is.
Anyways. Where to start? Let's start with Joker, because I love Sonny Strait. He's great. He's always a treat when he shows up in dubs, and I like him. I enjoy him a lot in this role. He gets to be hammy. He gets to be very sinister, which, I mean, I think as we've seen from the cast list that Megan was reading, Sonny plays a lot of, if not heroic, at least joyful characters, depending on how you count Koro Sensei.
Smiling through his tears.
I haven't actually seen the end of Assassination Classroom, and I'm pretty sure I know what happens, but I'm not 100% sure, so...
Oh, he's fine.
It's a journey I need to finish.
He's totally fine.
Oh, that's good.
He's totally fine. Nothing bad ever happens.
Oh, I was really worried about that.
He gets to go to an island that's full of hot octopus women, and he gets to read all the books he wants.
Oh, that's nice.
He got sent to a farm upstate.
It was tentacles all
He can run around all he wants.
Way upstate.
Just
Sensei.
It was tentacles all along.
Sonny's great in this role. He's a delight. I can't wait to watch more of it so he can show up more. I enjoy Tabitha as Arrow. How was it? It's good, strong, kind of, a little bit of menace in her voice. I especially liked when she's first introduced, where she just fucking one-shots what's his name?
Oh yeah.
Rekka.
Yeah, just fucking one-shots Rekka from like 3 buildings away. She's just like, I got him, sir. He's not a problem anymore. It's like, ooh, you're
Japanese sniper.
You're a mean one. Yeah, right. Corey. All right, so audience, you're going to find out how some of the sausage is made. Amon can't count and thought the halfway point was episode 12, not 14. So I haven't actually seen the episode that Corey shows up in.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
But I want to now, because he sounds great.
He is. He's, you ever seen Full Metal Alchemist?
Yeah.
You remember the episode with Barry the Chopper?
Oh, no.
Well,
well, now I have to watch this.
I'm Barry the Plastic Surgeon.
Oh... So I will defer to everyone else on Corey, although I'm sure he does an excellent job. His character sounds delightful. And I can read. Patrick, I like Patrick as Haran. He brings that great Patrick Seitz rumble. And it's nice to see him here, because this wouldn't be recent anymore, but a while back it was some anniversary for Space Dandy. And Patrick Seitz did a little Twitter thread about how his kind of complicated feelings about being involved with that, because simuldubs are a big thing now. But it also means his ability as a California-based actor to be based in things that aren't dubbed in California is really reduced these days. But obviously, Funimation have put a lot of effort into making people outside of their immediate geographical talent pool be able to be in simuldubs. So whenever he shows up in one of these things, I'm always happy. Because I like Patrick. He's one of my favorite actors. It's always nice to hear him in things. So yeah, these people are all terrible, and bless them for it, because if you have boring villains, your show gets real dull real quick.
Rich Justice.
All right. So I guess we'll start with Arrow and Tabitha Ray. She did a really great job playing sort of the I'm here to do a job kind of character. Like, just... I don't want that to sound like an insult, because it's, like, I really like that type of villain where it's just like, yeah, this is, I'm gonna kill you, but this is just kind of a day job for me. Like, tomorrow I'll be somewhere else, and I'll kill another guy. It's not a very big deal for me. And I thought Tabitha Ray did a really great job in getting that aura across. Patrick Seitz is Haran. I don't know if this was brought up yet, but I really like the vocal filtering work that they do at the very end of his arc when he eats the bugs and becomes the demon.
Oh, yeah.
Where they, like, double his voice up and deepen it, and it's really, like, nasty and intimidating, and... Unfortunately, there's not a lot to Haran's character, and there really isn't going to be, because he's, spoiler alert, kind of dead.
He'll get better.
Oops. There's a lot of Catholic imagery in this show. He might get better.
And if he catches fire, what does that mean? A witch!
Lord.
But yeah, he basically plays the strong man, which is, you know, he does it quite a bit, and he's good at it. So, like, what can I say? Thankfully, not a thing he's typecast as, but you know, he gets by with what he does. Corey Phillips was kind of the surprise of this arc. It's not a name I am familiar with, and according to Megan, he is like very recent as a voice actor for Funimation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is
I really liked it. He was very, very scary as Yona. Really gave sort of that mad scientist menace to the character. And while I don't have much to say, because he's probably going to be a little more prominent in the episodes coming up, he had a really great just villain moment when he's first introduced, and he's doing the fire plastic surgery on the guy, and his face just kind of goes scanners on him.
Oh my.
And he's just like, oh god, I broke him. Next!
I wonder if they could turn his face into John Travolta.
God damn it!
I refuse to believe that
John
movie
Travolta
exists.
or Nicolas Cage?
Yes.
That's not a movie. There's no way that
It is!
Yeah.
I've seen it. It's great.
Noah.
Look, weird group
Noah.
hallucinations don't count.
Oh my
Listen
god,
to me.
Nicolas Cage gropes a nun in that movie.
Oh!
I just remembered that.
But Noah,
What?
listen to the sound of my voice. Face Off was a movie. It existed. It was directed by John Woo. It's real.
Look, we're friends, Roots, so I want to support your fantasies, okay? So if you say it exists, I will believe that it exists.
Good. I'll bring
So
a
will
copy
you-
next time you're at a con with me.
You're gonna make a whole movie.
So like, we're making a lot of movie references here. Let's move on to the straight story. Wait
What?
for it.
As the only person here who has probably seen that movie, I applaud your reference.
There's like visible question marks over Megan and my.
It's,
What if
it's
what
a
if-
David
what if-
Lynch movie he did for Disney, where it's about a man who drives a lawnmower to talk to a friend who is dying, or
It's
his brother or something.
it's his brother who has had a health scare.
I thought that was the Water Boy.
No, this is much better than The Waterboy.
What's it called?
The Straight Story.
Dr. Insano shows no mercy.
The Straight. Okay.
Anyway, Roots of Justice, please fucking go.
But yeah, bringing that joke full circle here. Anyway, I really liked it, and I also have kind of a funny story about it too. So I was on Megan's Discord when the episode where he debuted showed up, and Kyle Phillips did not announce who played Joker at first. So a lot of the folks in our Discord were basically speculating on who it was, and there were guesses that were just all over the place, and I'm just like, yeah, I watched Taka. This is Sunny Straight. And nobody believed me. And it was hilarious, because I'm like, I'm just like, fucking hey. I mentioned the vocal filter thing in the Akka episode. I know what Sunny Straight sounds like when he goes low. This is Sunny Straight. And, yeah, turned out to be him. But I like this register on him. It's just intimidating enough, and it's smoky, it's... Oh, what is the reference I'm going for here? Deep Throat. The
From the
God,
X-Files? Or do you mean the real human?
Yes.
I feel like there was like a film adaptation of the,
Wait, from
like,
All the President's
Nixon
Men?
Watergate scandal, and there was. Or
How many references can we get in?
Is he like, okay, so was Joker calling up the Fire Force people?
oh, you know
or the
what? It
Question
might have been
Council?
X-Files. Now that I think about it, I think I might have been making a reference to the Deep Throat of X-Files, because it was that kind of mechanically deep voice.
Right.
And it was great. I especially liked when he showed up at like the main Fire Force HQ to basically like spill a bunch more breadcrumbs for Shinra to get led to this mysterious organization. We don't know what Joker is planning, but he's obviously doing something with the
white.
Oh god, what did they?
They're the white. Oh god, what is
The Infernals.
The white-
There we go.
The White Clad,
the
yeah.
white? Thank you. The white.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the White Hoods, but that's an entirely different evil group.
Yes.
But yeah, where he's basically just dropping all the breadcrumbs to lead Shinra, and like he obviously has something to do with the Infernals. Working with a character that I don't think we're talking about tonight.
Ian Sinclair's licked.
Yeah,
Because he only has, he has such little dialogue.
yeah. I do want to mention him here though, because he has very little dialogue, but he's really fun. So yeah, good performances all around.
Okay, so the Straight Story is an actual movie that existed.
So is Face Off.
No, I'm not saying anything about that.
Anyway, so I, for one, welcome Southern Overlord Sonny Strait giving us cryptic clues about kidnapped children. I think he's a lot of fun. I really hope that this character shows up. I really enjoy the way that they put this character. Kyle has chosen to kind of give this character an accent, just because it's just very, very fun. And I don't think it ever is really distracting. I also really enjoy Tabitha Ray as Arrow. I am really unfamiliar with her range. She is not in a lot of things I've watched. Let's be real. I think the only thing that she's been a major presence in that I watched was she's in a really big Fairy Tail filler arc that I've seen. That's my biggest recollection of Tabitha Ray. And I feel really bad because she's in stuff that I should. And okay, look, she is Yayoi in Seraph, who is one of Guren's little buddies. And I have to actually look up this character because it's been a hot minute since I've actually watched Seraph of the End. Surprisingly.
What do you say we put this podcast on hold and we just all go watch Sarah for a couple of hours, and then we'll come back and we'll finish this.
Okay, no. She is this character that gets fucking killed.
Wait, don't they all?
She gets
At the beginning.
I mean, she gets turned into Storage War Hitler's, a storage... She gets turned into Storage Container Hitler's juice box. I cannot describe Kureita Hiragi as anything other than Storage Container Hitler.
I am not going to ask for an explanation, but I want you to know it's really rude of you to just drop that metaphor on us and leave.
I'm just saying, when a man lures an entire army to an airfield base with a cryptic storage container, and 90% of them die, what do you expect me to call him?
Fair.
Storage Container Kevorkian?
That's even worse.
But she's really cool and really creepy as Arrow, but without being hammy and over the top. Patrick Seitz is Patrick Seitz in this. I think he makes Haran solid. His growling demon noises are a lot of kind of hurtful fun to listen to because you're just oh god, this poor man. And Corey Phillips as Yona, who might as well be giving Brandon McGinnis's Gen for a run for his money as cryptic science guy this season, because he is, like, all over the place, and he is such a hoot to listen to. He is hammy, he is over the top, but it's also a controlled measure, and I absolutely adore it. So, with that out of the way, let's move on to Group 2, which is just Company 1. Yay. Company 1 is the ultra-religious. They're like sending your kid to Catholic Bible camp, the crew. Everyone's a friar. Every girl there is a nun. That is expressly why Tamaki is a nun. Because she got sent to Company 1.
Which is weird, because we never see her in the nun getup.
She has, like, a nun nurse getup when she's in Company 1 before it gets changed.
Well, she doesn't really have much of any outfit.
You know what? Shut up. Just because you're right. Anyway, Company 1, Shinra and Arthur get sent to investigate them because they think that Company 1's hiding something, because Leonard Burns may have been the guy who saved Shinra, but from the fire that killed his mom and took his brother, but he's really dodging the question. So, Company 1 is led by Leonard Burns, but it also has two other important characters, Rekka Hoshimiya, a hot-blooded fire soldier who might be a little crazy, and Kareem Fulham, who is, well, he's the party bard.
He's one horny guy.
Fuck.
I regret zero. Roots, I'm sorry. You have full right to kill me next time we see each other.
Oh, Suplex City, my guy.
I mean, Kareem's got a pretty big horn to toot, and it's a little frosty when the white stuff comes out.
He's got to learn to let it go.
Let it go, let it go.
No Frozen 2
from
spoilers
inside
in the comments.
my
I swear to God, if any of you put that in the comments, we will not be able to do anything about it, but please don't.
Let it go,
you know,
let it go. I rang the sousaphone.
It is kind of a sousaphone.
I wonder
we were arguing
what bothers him.
Anyway, playing Leonard Burns is Phil Parson, playing Rekka Hoshimiya is Kellen Goff, and playing Kareem Fulham is Rico Fajardo. Phil Parsons you'll know for his roles as Klaus von Reinhardt's in Blood Blockade Battlefront and Blood Blockade Battlefront and Beyond. Shiro Sanada in Starblazer's space battleship Yamato 2199 and 2202, and only to hurt one person in this room who I date, he is also King Delancey in Enride.
No.
Megan, welcome to the Suplex City, courtesy of Roots of Justice.
Don't hit me, baby.
I'm not gonna suplex my girlfriend, are you?
Maybe she likes it.
I might be into that.
Wow! Did not expect to open that closet.
You remember this podcast had dignity? I don't, but it's fun to think about, isn't it?
It was a dignified back when Lilac did it all by herself and didn't have us tainting the good reputation.
Yeah.
I mean, she would really like if Andrew took her to Suplex City.
I'd pay to see him try to do that.
Don't give her any ideas. Working on the Nutcracker recently has given her plenty of ideas.
This isn't Tokyo Ghoul Re at all.
What is...
Also, let's all be clear. Between the two of them, we all know Andrew would rather be suplexed like Lilac because he'd be really into it.
And there's
You're
nothing
not wrong.
There's nothing wrong with that, people. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong.
So, speaking of nothing wrong with, what has Kellen Jeff done?
Jeff? Fuck.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that segment went so wrong. Kellen is characters such as Overhaul in My Hero Academia, Morio, Shigeta in March Comes In Like a Lion, and the Sea Lion Bartender in Africa Salary Man. Rappin' Rico Fajardo is Tar Kodake in Absolute Zero. Natsuya Kirishima from Free, Dive to the Future, and Toei Kuji in Saren Samnai. Noah, you now need to do your thoughts for the segment completely in white boy rap.
Alright, let's do this now. So, Leonard Bernstein, not his name, but I'm calling him that because that's what Leonard Byrne makes me think of. Phil Parsons is really cool. He's got a typical voice that's really low. I wish that man would step on me because he's got a patch on his eye, and I think that I'm gonna die when people who do rap hear this song. What the hell?
Oh my god. I am impressed you kept it up that long.
I did music for a while. I can't ad-lib at all, but I can at least keep a beat.
That was easily on par from that one rap that Breck does on that one Danger Doom.
Where was I? Yep. Phil Parsons. Okay, so this whole group, so first I'll say about Phil and Rico is that they don't get as much of the spotlight because their scenes are kind of clouded in mystery for a good chunk of it. We know Leonard Burns is hiding something. We don't quite know what it is yet, but because he's Phil gives him this intimidating boss voice, which is good, it fits with the character design. We don't quite get an idea about what it is that he's hiding, especially when he starts up by saying, I've been fighting fires for 10 years now. You can't possibly expect me to remember that one fire from 8 years ago that killed your mom and brother. Which, of course, means he knows exactly what Shinra is talking about. But yeah, Phil does a good job on that. Rico, likewise, has the weirdest vocal tick of the entire characters.
Yeah, he does. That's the one that we were talking about.
So all it is that he takes a word and repeats it multiple times in the sentence. I wish I'd written down an example of it, but it's you're an ass, and the asses of an ass are you asses. Is something.
That.
It's very annoying. It's I don't know if it was like that in the Japanese. I'm gonna assume it was, because why would you make that up for the English? But to give credit to Rico for having that handicap of a speaking pattern, which does at least make him a memorable character. I did not forget him. Rico does a good job. It's very basic though. It doesn't have anything funny or quirky about the actual voice itself. It's just kind of a very basic baritone voice. But he does get to redeem himself near the end of his arc because he, quote-unquote, sides with the good guys. And for all the jokes they make about him being a horny ice guy, that is actually a very cool power. His power of being able to basically freeze fire is distinct, and I don't know why he has to use the instrument for it, but honestly, that's why we love him.
It's sound conduction. It's, actually explained. It's, a actual thing that you can do.
Oh, that's right. You're right, yeah. Which is, again, that's what you go to anime for. You go to it for these crazy ideas, like people with tape superpowers or people with ice trombone superpowers. That's cool. I'm totally for that. Speaking of having cool powers, so Rekka is the secret guy who's, he's the... You ever see Evangelion? He's basic...
Yes.
He's basically the nerve people. He's basically Seele, who wants to return all of humanity to the primordial fire, as it were. And he has to remain cool and collected for his first couple episodes, which is hides his demeanor. And Kellen does a good job with that. And then he gets to have a lot more fun when he snaps. He completely shows his true colors, and he gets deliciously despicable. He is hamming it up, but it's to a non-distracting degree. There are characters, there's actors who can't ham up their performance without coming off as distracting. And going back to this is an invisible dub, Kellen does a good job at being believably despicable. So I feel like this could have gone terribly wrong. This could have gone way over the top, but he did a very good job, and I'm glad that he bit the arrow at the end because he needed to go down for what he was doing to the kids. Amon,
Rekka Hoshimiya, fuck them kids.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kids get it.
Oh god damn it.
Yeah, this is a whole year of children not being treated well by anyone.
VRV character tag, kids avoiding being murdered.
Yes.
I still can't believe that's a thing.
What a
It's
world.
real.
I wonder if it would be better to be burned alive or eaten by aliens.
Yes.
No.
Child flambe, though.
Shishka baby.
You know, I knew we were probably going to go to hell for this episode, but we're really we're just tacking on the years.
Look, I've seen Pirates of the Caribbean 2. I can just gamble for years.
I don't have that much faith in my luck. You wanted my opinions, I think?
Yeah.
Is that how that
Kentucky,
started?
Please.
All
Before I
right.
go any further.
Kentucky Fried Toddler.
Don't send me to double hell.
I really enjoyed Phil Parsons as Leonard Burns. He's got a good, like, very, he's very authoritative. He knows what's going on. He's good repartee with everybody. But there's no point out. He clearly knows more than he's willing to tell anybody. And whether that's just because he's keeping secrets or say, I don't know, he's just really evil, we're not sure yet. But I'm sure we'll find out eventually. He's fun. I'd like to see him in more things, which I'm sure I'd like to see his character more, which I'm sure will happen as I continue to watch the show. Rico's delightful. He has the ridiculous speech pattern. I think he does a really good job of nailing that and making it sound pretty natural, at least as much as he can between what he has to say and the lip flaps he has to work with. Also, his character's just fun. He carries around a big trumpet and shoots ice at people and wears headphones, and who doesn't like that?
It's not a
If
trumpet.
we weren't for another, if we weren't for it, look. All right, look, it's a generic brass instrument
That's true. That's true.
that shoots ice.
I want to just get that right because there are people out there who need to be educated about trumpets.
Some band geek's gonna come with us with their fucking trombone gun.
It's a big metal tube.
Well, actually, this is an
With a flare at
18th
the end.
century megalophone.
Yeah, and then it's like, go back to listening to Griffin, nerd.
Oh.
Oh god, that was a deep cut.
Is
right
mayonnaise an instrument?
Bad. That was bad, Amon. I applaud you, but that was bad.
I'm not even sure
I
I make
feel
the same
called
reference
out.
you once do. All right, for me, Griffin is a band who use medieval instruments in their output. What are you thinking of?
I'm sorry, I've been laughing for the last 10 minutes about fucking Shishka.
That's fair. Anyways.
Where do you stick the stick?
It depends on what the technique you want to use. If you'll reference this diagram here.
Today on Hannibal Lecter's cooking class.
So Rico's a lot of fun. But we have to talk. I feel like Kellen. So as we find out later on, Rekka has some opinions about things that are bad.
What are you talking about?
Like that. Like he's gonna find his little, he's gonna put firebugs in people until one of them turns into something more stable.
I would like to can I explain Rekka Hoshimiya's entire motivation in song?
Is it gonna get us in
Sure.
trouble?
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Fuck them kids.
God, we're all gonna.
Let it shine, let it shine. Oh god, too bright, too bright, too bright. Turn it down.
I'm going to hell.
Wait, I just got a letter.
Oh, going to hell, Megan. Let's be frank here.
Hey guys, I just
That's
got
why
a letter from the Catholic Church. We've been excommunicated.
Oh, good. I've already been there. Nice try. Nice try, Benedict. Nice try, Benedict Cumberpope.
No. It's Jude Law who's playing the Pope. From the young Pope TM.
Anyway, back on track.
Where you were talking?
Right, I was
I feel like
talking.
we just need to.
You were at Kellogg.
I forgot it was my turn. So Kellen's really he's really fun as Rekka. Rekka's super fiery and hot-headed. He's a cool dude. He's a real cool dude, and people like him because he's a cool dude. Until it turns out that he's a monster. And wow, Kellen really gets to have fun when Rekka's just ranting about all the shit. It's like he needs to find his. I don't even remember what specifically he's saying. Just the impression of it. Just he's gonna put bugs in people until he finds his fire god, I guess. And he is really into it. Kellen just he gets wonderfully, horrifyingly over the top. Like Fire Force can have some pretty good dramatic moments when it wants to, but that couple episodes was probably the most upsetting the show has gotten so far. And Kellen's a big part of that. Like he really sells just how far gone this character is, and I think for that alone he's probably the standout of this section for me. Like, excellent work, sir. I'm not really sorry you got a bullet through the chest at the end. You had that coming.
Shot through the heart, and you're too late. You give the Fire Force a bad name. Do I get points for making this?
I respect you for that joke.
You're welcome.
Could you say that as far as recording this podcast that we're halfway there?
Oh, God damn it, yes. Living on a Shiska baby's prayer.
Roots, I'm putting my prayer
We're
on
all
you.
going to hell. We're all going to hell.
I don't.
Benedict Cumberbatch. Jude Law can't touch me now.
Okay,
I
should
probably
start talking opinions here.
I'm fucking dying.
Just so that we're not given the express elevator down. Alright, so, I like Phil Person's Leonard Burns. He's tough, he's strong, he's also mysterious. He knows a lot more than he's letting on, and we don't know why he's not letting on, but he's not letting on for some reason.
Because we've got to
and Phil
prolong
Person
the
says a
plot.
good job conveying that. Rico Fajardo as Kareem. Really great. I feel like the unique speech impediment of his character flows a little better in Japanese, but I kind of stopped watching the subtitle version after a couple episodes because dub's actually pretty solid. So I honestly don't know, but he has a great energy and pep to him. He's plucky, he's absolutely wonderful to listen to. And what can I say? Oh god. He's good. Doctor Doom will toot as he pleases.
Did Rekka Hoshimiya steal 40 cakes?
No, but that's terrible. There we go.
I fucking can't with this episode. I'm fucking dying.
Okay, now was it Kellen Jeff or Kellen Goff?
Goff.
It is,
Okay. He's really great as Rekka. Like Rico, in the very beginning of his story arc, he has to, project a very peppy energy to him. And he's just the crazy cool guy who can't do wrong. Hey, you kids can trust me? Come on over! Oh yeah, and I'm gonna give you these bugs. You know, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Oh crap, he's on fire. Oh well, you get...
Damn it, Timmy Clench!
Well, to make an omelet, you gotta break eggs. Next.
Alright, Susie, let's go.
But holy shit, his entire fight with,
Shinra?
No. Before that, Tamaki.
That was less of a fight and more of a beating.
That was a...
Yeah. True.
That was a please, daddy, don't hit
Like,
me.
she tried, and then basically had to send a signal that, oh god, I'm in trouble. Shinya, help me. And then the fight with Shinya also. Like, Kellen really gets into it. Like, holy shit. I'm not particularly familiar with him right now because I've been meaning to get to My Hero Academia Season 4, but I just haven't had the time yet. I can't actually physically watch March Comes In Like a Lion because it sets my anxiety so far off the charts.
Oh, yeah. I remember who the character was now. I was trying to remember who Morio was.
But, so this is really... I'm familiar with the name Kellen Goff, but I'm not familiar with his voice acting. So this was really spectacular. So, big props and thumbs up to all three of the actors in this group. Solid work.
Okay, let's see if I can keep myself composed, because I'm fucking dying.
I think we've fully given up at this point. For everyone listening right now...
I can't get past Shishka Baby!
How do you think they were preparing the kids in Promised Neverland?
I mean... Over the grill?
Yeah, just, take the brains, put them on a...
No!
Okay, I think we're done.
Not talk about eating children. Please, it's a little too far gone, holy shit.
We're not Jonathan Swift, Noah. Pump the brakes.
Oh, God!
Reka Hoshimiya comes to the Evangelists with the modest proposal.
I don't...
Good night! That is the... I will never top that moment! Nothing in my life will ever top that joke! God damn it!
Yeah, I don't think he knew it was supposed to be a parody.
Reka Hoshimiya sees a modest proposal as a tutorial, not a parody.
The satire was lost upon him.
Oh, fucking please give me a minute.
He really should be fired from his job.
I mean, Arrow took care of that, but holy God. This episode is gonna be so hard to pick a best of moment out of it. This is a train wreck and I'm here for it.
The best of clip from Fire Force is the episode to Fire Force.
It's so...
Megan, would you call this a dumpster fire?
I fucking love this episode. I don't care what anyone says. I don't know if it's gonna be helpful to anybody who works on it, but goddamn will you be entertained.
Okay, so...
Anyway, timing back in. Phil Parsons as Leonard Burns is exactly what I expected. He's kind of big, intimidating, and hiding things. He is very clearly much a man dodging the questions, like, Elliot Sadler from Law & Order SVU's on his trail. Listen here, I'm from a house full of New Yorkers. Law & Order is just like a part of our life.
So is it not so much a TV show as it is the 11 o'clock news?
Yes. Dun dun.
I'm sort of picturing how sports games work in Massachusetts. They're just there all the time.
Yeah, but Law & Order has less racism.
This is true.
God.
Anyway.
I don't know, that Irish accent from that one character was a little racist.
Bong bong. Dun dun. Kareem Flum. I think it was, we also, I have a mildly funny story that we all found out that, I can't say that. Rip. I can't say that. So, Rico as Kareem is really interesting because he basically sounds like he has a stick shoved up his ass. Even the way that Kareem looks, he looks like he has a stick permanently lodged up his butthole. He has, a face that only his mother, a actual sousaphone, could love. He is the angriest party bard. But I also think that Rico brings a lot to the character. He doesn't play him like as if he was talking like this the whole time and gritting his teeth as he talked. He brings a lot of emotionality because I think when Rekka's downfall does hurt him, because Rekka is his friend. And he was hiding this from him. But he also has to deal with Arthur and Shinra's sneaky bullshit. And I think his working around the lip flaps in turn with Aaron's writing and the engineer came out really well. Because Rico's got to speak and double speak because he has to talk like this. And I'm the dude playing a dude dressed like another dude. Yeah, in a moment.
One more movie reference for the podcast.
But with less racism. And then Kellen as Rekka is such a fucking spitfire. Just, oh my stars! Because his name has stars in it. Star in it. Because I know what Hoshi means.
I get
just
it
the
now.
fact that he also has stars in his eyes.
Yeah, that's another quirk a lot.
And I think I love the description.
Sorry, go ahead.
Everybody in the show with a bunch of people with weird eyes in the show. Also, I would very much like to point out that Andrew pointed this out to me, that if you look where he got shot right through the heart and the light goes through his heart, like in the sunset. But I think Kareem and Rico really described the character best as, was he a hot-blooded guy who became a son of a bitch, or was he a son of a bitch that was just hot-blooded?
Mm-hmm.
Because Rekka never stops being excited and, like, happy. And even when he's yelling and demoralizing poor Tamaki, he's always sounding like, come on, you gotta be the best at this! Why won't you take the fall? You're supposed to be the best at taking the fall! And he's just so upbeat, despite the fact that he is going batshit. And that's really something to admire from an actor who's becoming a bit more household known, because Kellen has done vocal work before this. He was in Five Nights at Freddy's, guys.
Oh, that's right, he is.
Five Nights at Company 1, becoming Infernal.
He's got an experience with playing nice-looking characters who terrify young children.
Yes.
I don't actually know what
yes,
happens
he does.
in Five Nights at Freddy.
You get murdered by an animatronic. A lot.
Again?
Yes.
How many times have they made that game?
There's like 8 of them now, I think.
Just enjoy. A lot.
A lot.
That Chuck E. Cheese MMO
but yeah,
was
no,
really
I genuinely enjoyed.
Sorry.
Funimation, when are you gonna release that Chuck E. Cheese DVD, man? I need to know
Be nice.
I need to know the origins. I need to know the origins of DJ Sex Billionaire.
Yeah, this episode's a loss.
That is someone's real alias for. That is an actual alias for somebody who works on this show. I am not kidding. Anyway, I think we're good here. Time to move on from the worst company to the fucking best!
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about Company 7, the home, Akakusa, the best district, the home to the man, the Dilf,
Okay.
the legends.
Look, okay, so...
We
hold on, before we go any further. Water for everyone. Water bottle for you, water for you, water for you, and for the audience, because we're about to get very, very thirsty.
Specifically, Megan is.
The
Shinon
first
Benimaru,
three
the captain of
rows
company...
are designated the Splash Zone.
God.
Call me Shamu, because I'm about to dive the fuck in!
If you are in the Splash Zone, expect to get wet.
Shamu, motherfucker, look at all these dilfs.
No, keep going. This is priceless.
Shinmon Benimaru, the guy who looks like my boyfriend. is the captain of Company 7. He doesn't like he does not like the Imperial Japanese. He's a proto-nationalist. He has his wonderful life partner, Lieutenant Sagiyama Konro. A man who can't really use... He's a third generation who... Also, by the way, Benimaru is a compound fire soldier, so he's a second and third generation, meaning that he can ignite his own flames and then control them at will. Sagiyama Konro, a.k.a. Benimaru's life partner and lieutenant, is a former third generation fire soldier who overused his power and his body is starting to turn to ash. And then there are their lovely gremlin daughters, Hikage and Hinata, who are basically Yakuza foxes and will beat your bitch ass. That's their character, you can't convince me otherwise. Playing Benimaru is Aaron Roberts, playing Konro is Jeff Plunk, playing Hikage is Megan McLean, and playing Hinata is Jennifer Alex. Aaron Roberts you'll know as characters such as Barbaro in 91 Days, Uda in Tokyo Ghoul, and Hishikari Hasabe in Tokenrambu Hanamaru. Jeff Plunk you'll know as Racer in Fairy Tail, Basil in Dragon Ball Super, and Delvkin Bro Left Eye in One Piece. Megan McLean you'll know as the Sword Maiden in Goblin Slayer, Kazusa Otori, aka the world's most aggressive little lesbian, in Kono Ototomore, and Rachel Ray Gardner in Angels of Death. Jennifer Alex you'll know as characters such as Sei Chaibashira in Classroom of the Elite, Akemi Kinoshita in King's Game the Animation, and both Constance and Hannah in Little Witch Academia. Noah, have you gotten your poncho on?
It's been secured pretty tightly.
Do you have your water wingies?
I've got my water poncho and my super soaker, so I'm ready for this. Okay.
Please keep your super soaker in your pants.
I would, but
Go ahead.
Don't be mad at me if I have to pump it a little bit later. Anyways, so these characters. What am I talking about? So Company 7 gets arguably the best arc of the 14 episodes we've seen so far. It composes a couple of episodes in their hometown that they patrol, where they have to deal with kind of an outbreak of the Evangelists, actively turning people into Infernals. Infernals. That's what it's actually called. And in doing that, I'm going to talk about Aaron Roberts as Benimaru, because it's kind of like he's worn down, and it's not just from the character design, but his voice really sounds like he's been worn down by what he's gone through in his life, but he's still got a twinge of youth in the, a bit of twinge of youth in his voice to kind of indicate that he's not entirely all gone. And we can tell from the way that he actively defends the entire city that he's still got a lot of enthusiasm and real compassion for the city that he's defending. And I do like how Aaron Roberts kind of, his voice kind of warbles a bit when he's unsure about what to do, because he's conflicting with becoming a leader or keeping Kentaro as the leader, because he doesn't feel confident enough in himself. So Aaron Roberts has a lot of fun with this, and yes, gives him a very good daddy voice. Not the best daddy in the whole show, in my opinion, but enough so that he's really going to, make a lot of people very happy. Keep that poncho on. Brad's portrayal of Kantaro is probably the most cartoonish of the non-villains, because he gives him a very raspy and frayed old guy voice with a kind of a slurred speech pattern to indicate, his age is, he's getting up there in years, and he's also decaying. He's also turning to dust, and that's very sad. But he does it very well, and the two of them work off of each other very well. I know Megan jokes that they're life partners to each other. I always viewed it more as like a teacher-mentor.
They're married!
Oh, they are?
They're married! Fuck you, fight me! No! They're buried in my mind!
I'm sorry. If there was a detail I missed, I didn't want to be offensive about it. Because I didn't view it as...
No, they're married in my mind.
Okay, alright. They're married in your mind.
I did!
In Megan's mind...
No, but I see what you're going for.
Yeah, I viewed it more as a mentor-teacher relationship. And that, again, they work off each other very well. As far as Hikage and Hinata, I know there's a difference between the two. Because when you hear the two of them talk side by side, one after the other, one is higher pitched than the other. So Megan and Jennifer are distinct from each other. But because the character designs are identical, and because their speech patterns are very similar to each other, and they're high-pitched in their voices, I can't really tell the difference between which is which. There's a part of an episode where one of them gets kidnapped and is very pissed off about not getting candy that we see. So, but I can't tell which one is which exactly. But I will give full credit because I've seen this evil twins thing done before, and I didn't like it so much in one of the shows I was thinking of. There's this show called Holic that you may have heard of. It's this Clamp series that came out a long time ago, and in it there's...
Small independent Clamp series.
Yeah. Wait, is it really?
No, I fucking love Holic.
Alright, just checking. I like it too. I haven't seen the Tsubasa Chronicle that ties into it.
I love Holic.
We'll do that episode one day in the future.
I mean, anime-wise, they don't really tie into each other because one anime likes to mention that one exists and the other one doesn't.
Okay. I mean, I know there's like background references in the anime, but that's about it. But what was I getting at here? But yeah, so in a show like in Holic, there's evil twin characters who harmonize with each other, but they're way too squeaky in that one. This does much better. Fire Force does it much better because the two characters here are high pitched, but they also harmonize really well with each other, and they're not grating on the ears. And they are absolutely despicable because yes, they insult people, they demand candy, or else they will murder you. They kind of remind me of there's a show called Miraculous Ladybug where there's one character has these little sisters who turn into super villains called the Zappities, who cause a lot of turmoil and distress for the world. Those two are less evil than these two are. So good job, Megan and Jennifer. And that's all I got to say about companies.
I'd actually like to point this out because I looked this up. I think in the subs, Hinata and Hikage are played by the same person.
That wouldn't surprise me because usually the Japanese do that if they got identical twin characters. Like I think in wasn't it in Yuri on Ice, Axel, Lutz, and Loop were all played by the same voice actress in Japanese?
I think they all are played by the same... Yeah, I think they are, and, like, the one time that it actually, like, pissed me off that they were played by the same person is that both Black, White, and the King of Despair are all played by the same person in the Japanese version of Blood Blockade Battlefront. It's not...
Oh, yeah.
And, like, listen here, I don't get to, like, shit on... I don't want to, like, be rude to Rie Kugamiya, but not a good thing. Yeah, Hikage and Hinata are played by one person in the Japanese.
Yeah. So I
just don't think that's yeah. They're separate beings. Please let them be separate voices.
Yeah. So I like what Megan did.
Are they? That's debatable.
Anyways, Amon, are you thirsty?
No.
Oh, that's good. All right, well then take the microphone.
All right. Where should I start? I really enjoyed Megan and Jennifer as Higake and Hinata. I thought they did a good job of blending with each other. They did the thing that I think is usually good for doing twins in a lot of shows like this, which they do sound similar. You definitely buy like, oh, these two are twins, they're siblings. But there's a little distinction. They're not quite completely identical. Even if I'm probably not gonna be able to tell which is which just by listening to them. But they don't sound just like carbon. They don't sound like carbon copies of each other, which I always think is just a good directing decision for these kinds of characters. And they're insidiously fun. It's when Benimaru and Company 8's captain, whose name escapes me because my memory is terrible, are having their big fight, and they're just kind of
Akiteru Obi.
Thank you, Obi. When they're having their fight, and they're just kind of sitting on the car, like. Just color commentating, and it's like, aw, you seem vaguely amoral, but you're fun. So they're fun. They're a delight. Jeff Blunk I really liked as Conroe. He was very good at presenting this the character is not supposed to be that old, but obviously he is very weary for good reason. And I thought Jeff did a great job of like presenting that in his voice, but also like not to the point where it overwhelmed anything. Like you could still, everything else came through. You could be optimistic. You could be, upset, what have you. But I always thought that his voice always did a good job of matching that weird eye pattern he has that makes him look kind of dead. He does.
I feel like he lost the game of tic-tac-toe.
Yeah. And as I mentioned, I didn't because of my own ineptness, I didn't get a chance to finish this arc. But I liked a lot of his performance from when I saw it. It was just really strong, and it fit the character very well. Let's talk about Benimaru. When Benimaru first showed up, I thought I was going to get Majima from the Yakuza games. What I actually got was a feudal Japanese firefighter eraser head.
Yes.
He's just real tired, and he's trying to do a good job. But he's real tired.
Let the poor man sleep.
Clearly.
Would you two children stop hanging on his shoulders?
No, never. But Aaron is really good as him. I think he gets a lot. I guess he gets a lot of the both the lightness of the character, because you see him walking around town. And he's like, I told you, I don't like sweets. I don't want them. But he takes them anyways. He's like, come drinking with me. And he's like, I'm busy, but maybe. And, it's like everybody likes him. And he can have that lightness to him, but then there are heavier moments. And I think he does a good job of showing how much weight is sitting on this guy. And how much he's always cognizant of that. And clearly, thinks a lot about, am I actually fit for this position that I'm in. And Aaron does a good job of, I think, just putting that into the character. This feels it's a good, strong performance. And when I get the chance, I want to finish this arc and see how this resolves. Because I'm enjoying this character arc, I'm enjoying Aaron's performance, and I want to see where it's going. So good stuff all around.
All right, so I guess it's my turn then. Okay. I don't have much to say about the twins. They both sound distinct enough from one another, and even then I had a hard time telling them apart, and for twin characters, that's a good thing. They're both little shit gremlins, and I love them. I would adopt them. I would not take responsibility for their actions, though. But they seem fun.
They would toss you in a tree.
I mean, they probably would, but...
I'm sorry, did Root say he wants our future children to be Hinata and Hikage?
Congratulations,
Maybe.
Megan, you're a mother.
Congratulations, it's Gremlins.
Wait, let me check. No lies detected.
Jeff Plunk is a name I am, I'm actually not familiar with it. And he does a really great job, so I would really love to hear him in more stuff. Funimation, take note. He does a really good job with sort of the weary protector of the town, and yeah, really good stuff. Get some really great moments with Benimaru. Yeah. Aaron Roberts. When I first got to the Company 7 story arc, I was about to yell into the group chat, bullshit, this is not Aaron Roberts. Cause, it sounded like him, but I couldn't put it together that it was him. And that's great. I love it when actors are able to do that. He is very likely a frontrunner for my voice actor, Black Magic. This is a great, spectacular performance. What I really like about it is toward the end of the arc where he's just like, oh, yeah, you know how we're gonna solve this crisis? Everybody kick each other's ass. That'll figure out who the imposter is, because we're all tough. The residents of this town are all tough as nails. Any imposter isn't gonna be able to beat that. So beat each other up. And it's great. And they do. And it's fun. This arc is fun. These actors are fun. These performances are fun. This is fun. Good stuff all around. Thumbs up.
The two girls just, punch each other and knock each other out at the same time. It's like...
Yeah!
It's like Porco Rosso all over again.
The whole
don't make me sad.
No, but like the good ending of Porco Rosso. Except nobody gets money.
All I know is that the whole, like... Mr. Krabs, would you like to explain to us why you built another Hikage next to the first one?
I like
like
money.
gremlins.
Oh, there we go.
I think we found our twin peaks.
Those two like money.
That they do.
God. No, they're babies!
No, just twins that...
No, be nice. We're digging a hole. So let's start with Megan and Rachel. Megan and Jennifer. They're both great. I think that they are... Shut up! It's my birthday, goddammit!
I don't think we actually said that on recording.
We're going to fucking hell.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh.
Oh shit, we haven't. Fuck. Surprise, we're actually recording this on my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Gee, Billy, how come you get 2 birthday episodes?
Because she's special.
Because my mommy loves me.
Your mom...
Yeah, I'm special.
Wait, who's your mommy?
I've got the special ticket to hell.
Who's your mommy, and what does she do?
Well, you see, she works for a theater company in New Jersey. Anyway, no, I love Megan and Jennifer as the twins. They are fucking hysterical. They play off each other so well. They sound so alike with beat, but you can also tell that they're other people. And I think that's the thing that I really like that they did in the dub, because sometimes it's just like, I want to be able to tell the two characters apart, even though you're not supposed to. Also, their fucking fire forms are the best. They're little Yakuza foxes.
It's a shame we only see that, like, once, right?
That's the best.
It really is.
Yeah, sadly it was, like, only once and as a gag.
Yeah, they look...
Yeah, that's the thing. It wasn't even for the big
Yeah, they're like... Yeah, it's only when, Hikage comes out, and it's like, you got kidnapped and some, like, creepy little old man dressed as you. And it's like, these guys didn't give me any of the candy I wanted. You want to beat them up? Okay! And they get their asses...
Yeah, not... Let's beat up these kidnappers.
Jeff Plunkus Conroe was...
Go ahead.
Yeah, just beat up your own kidnappers. Just be like Hinata and Hikage. Beat up your own kidnappers. I really like Jeff Plunkus Conroe. I think he gets a lot of the drama down, because there are a lot of points where this episode, like, I actually think that the Akakusa arc is, like, the best arc so far in the show, up to what I've watched. He has this, like, older, kind of melancholic feel to him, but he also feels like he is still trying to be in the thick of things and live his life. He's just wanting the best for his best friend, who, like... God, it's so weird to explain it. He's like Mufasa if he didn't die. He just wants the best for Simba. And Simba's being stubborn. Sometimes you gotta nearly turn yourself into ash against a demon. And I think Jeff Plunk really gets a lot of that down. I'm with Roots. I want to hear more of this dude and stuff, but let's talk about Aaron Roberts, who I think is legitimately, like, one of the 2 best performances in the show. Like, he himself has been on Twitter saying that the Benny Maru stuff is some of the proudest work he's done in a long time, and you can absolutely hear it in his voice. He is tired, like, he is confused. Like, this is a guy who goes through a lot in, like, 4 episodes. Like, oh god, is this, like, he doesn't want to deal with the politics of the Fire Force. Like, his town's under attack. He's got to become the leader of this town, and he nails it. And I think the fight he has against Obi is just fucking chilling, where he is on the warpath to kill them. And literally, if it wasn't for the fact that Obi literally just is powered by the sheer force of man, like, he would have won. He wipes the fucking floor with them. And just, I think, though, my favorite delivery of any line comes at the very end of the arc where he's drunk And Shinra's like, oh my god, is this what I look like when I smile? Holy fuck. And he's just like, I'm gonna kill you. And it's just that laughing, like, sleep with one eye open tonight, bitch baby. I'd like to point out that Benimaru is best boy, and he is the most attractive Fire Force character. I'm sorry, honey. But I also say this because when I explained my attraction to him, Amon is just like, so he looks like Eraserhead and your boyfriend. I'm not sorry. I've got a type. I like good boys.
But I gotta pull up that exact line.
There's just a deafening silence, so I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
No, what was that here? It was...
I said a door.
Well... Aw, thank you, baby.
It was very adorable.
Let's go for, like, okay, look. Benimaru would probably would, like, take care of me in the most begrudgingly way possible. And, like, Konro would be there and be like, dude, we gotta take care of our wife better. And I'm for that life. like, fuck, let me be thirsty.
Absolutely.
Listen, if guys can, like, go on for, like, 20 minutes about how the exact shape of a girl's boob and icon turns him on, let me talk about my fantasies about wanting to be taken care of and cooked for.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I have my 30-page
like,
essay
legitimately, Roots can name my favorite character in Fire Emblem 3. What women really want.
Isn't what
I
women
mean, Roots of
want
Justice can
Ferdinand
literally
von
name...
I had to do it. I'm sorry.
Fuck you! Fuck you! I do want Ferdinand von Iger. God damn it, no!
Oh, God.
That's not even true, we all... Look, I love Ferdinand von Iger. He would totally be my fuck in the Fire Emblem fuck, marry, kill. But we all know I'm marrying Dedue because he can cook and garden.
Yep.
Dedue would take such good care of me. Dedue is literally just Roots.
Aw, I'm flattered.
Roots, you take...
Dedue's good people.
Thank you. Amon and Noah are just like in the corner like, what the f-
I'm just thinking, Roots, you take damn good care of this girl.
God.
You pet her head gently and cook her...
God, would Andrew be our Ferdinand... Oh God, would Andrew... Oh God, Andrew would be our Ferdinand von Iger, wouldn't he?
Oh my God.
Amon, what does any of this mean?
Holy fuck. It means we're moving on to the next section.
Are they speaking in tongues?
Anyways.
You know what? Fire Emblem Three Houses takes place at a monastery, so let's talk about some sisters. Let's talk about Sister Iris, the goodest girl. And her not-so-good sister, Princess Hibana. Princess Hibana is literally every dude on anime's fetish. She steps on people. She also has complex feelings about the church, her upbringing, and her powers, and how she feels about Iris, because she and Iris are the only survivors of a mass spontaneous human combustion that took away every sister at their church, prompting Hibana to leave, become a mad scientist, and gain power and become the Company 5 captain. Playing Sister Iris is Alexis Tipton, and playing Princess Hibana is Colleen Clinkenbeard. Alexis Tipton, you'll know as characters such as Pearl Faye in Ace Attorney, Rika Shigemura in Hanagai, and Kofuku in Noragami. Colleen Clinkenbeard, you'll know as characters such as Mia Faye in Ace Attorney, Yuko Ichihara in Holic, and Emma Asahina in Brothers Conflict.
Wow. Go between all the characters there.
Just gotta get that range.
Yeah, that's true. This character for Colleen is definitely more on her Yuko side than the Emma side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and talking about these characters, so this show is very weird. It's very weird in its treatment of Catholicism, in that it doesn't really... Okay, it does get the sort of the devout... what's the word? Like, devoting your life to a higher being mentality when it comes to the nunhood. Now, that being said, the god that they worship in this is not the Christian god. It's they they refer to it as the god Sol, which of course just means sun. And that's basically what all of the Catholicism is geared towards, but it's pulled directly from nun fetish websites. And so in doing that, Alexis's performance of Iris is very sweet. It's very nice, and it's very sentimental and delicate, while also not being annoying, which is what I was kind of worried about, is that in having a character who is not a fighter, but is more of a healer, that she would be treated as a damsel in distress, which, yes, she does get kidnapped in one episode, but she's not helpless entirely. Like, she's got her convictions that she stands up for, and Alexis pulls that off really well, using her, her Alexis voice. And now for Colleen Clinkenbeard. So, when you introduce a character in stilettos, walking on a sea of guys just to cause them pain, and referring to people as gravel because that's how low you think of them, you think maybe like that character wouldn't be very endearing or very popular, but she is. Like she gets some of the more popular fan service shots. I don't get this fascination in the show where you're firefighter, so you should be wearing full body gear to protect yourself from the fire, but all the women have to have fully exposed cleavage. I don't think that's code regulation. Or am I thinking far too much into this?
Yes.
It's weird.
To both.
It's weird, but then again, this whole show is weird. But, okay, to give actual proper credit for Colleen's performance. So, Colleen can do very sultry voices, like Yoko is a very good example of it. In this character, she gives the lower voice that she's known for, but it's more of a boss voice. It's not like she's trying to seduce people with her feminine wiles or her outfit or her convictions. It's supposed to convey a sense of bossiness. And watching her backstory, like she was a good nun for a while. Like she had this very cool power, but she still has this power to make like fire flowers, basically. But then she gets kind of, she turns into a hardcore atheist after the fire destroys all of their friends, and they're the only two survivors. And Colleen carries a whole lot of that pent up anxiety, not anxiety, but that pent up resentment towards the church that comes with that. It's kind of a shame that she doesn't get to do too much after her battle with Shinra, but I'm hoping that they're saving more development for her, maybe like a redemption arc or something in the second half of the show. Mr. Amon.
Did you say anything about Iris?
Yeah, I said that she had a good Alexis voice.
Oh, sorry. Okay, cool. Sorry.
You couldn't see Noah, but I was nodding silently the entire
No,
time.
I can see that. I'm looking in the microphone right now and saying, yes, very, yes. And I see that you're holding a wine glass and you're just kind of swirling it around very carefully. Like, yes, quite.
Yes, indubitably.
Joke's on you, I hate wine. Awful beverage.
Wait, let me look at that. Oh, it's Monster. Oh, okay, gotcha.
More offended.
That's on my
Anyways.
desk, Noah.
Damn it, my microphone visibility is just awful today.
It's the beard. It makes everything hard to see on this end. Anywho, what was I saying? Who to start with? Let's start with Alexis. I think I kind of agree. Iris feels like a character who could have been. I agree. I think her character is used well. I think she is not a very typical like shonen action kind of character. Or at least not one who gets to usually do a lot that's not that interesting. I think her role in this story I think is well done, and I think Alexis plays her very well. She's good. Like she's good at the kind of like the obvious sort of she's very sweet, she's very kind, she behaves like you'd think a nun would. But she also Iris does get like dramatic range in this show, and I think Alexis can knows how to step up and do that when she needs to, especially in the arc between Iris and Hibana. When we see that, I think she really sells it on that, from the stuff in the flashbacks and their kids to them just kind of talking about what that whole process in the present. She does a really good job, and I think she's also she's good at being funny when she needs to be. It's a good role. And Colleen.
Sorry.
This character is... The show is, it's not unserious, but it's also not serious. And Hibana feels like a good example of that. Just, this lady is gonna step on you. And it's,
Yes, please.
and you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it, darn it.
Lick my shoe.
Yeah, basically.
No, literally, that's what she says at one point.
I know, Colleen's clearly having a lot of fun playing this character. She's really over the top. She's big. She's very she's halfway. She feels like she's gonna give like an oh no laugh half the time. Except she wouldn't actually do that. She'd just step on you instead. Colleen's clearly having fun playing this character, who's just the right side of over the top. But again, she also gets to play with the more dramatic aspects of the character. I think she also does a good job of both like nailing those beats when she needs to, and also making it sound like a cohesive character. She's able to bring those sort of wilder fan service some of those elements, and make them feel consistent when she's talking about like the trauma she's endured and how that shaped her outlook on life. I think these are both very good performances, and I think they especially play well off each other, which I think is important given how the arc that focuses on them plays out. I feel like if their interplay wasn't good, this wouldn't be nearly as, that arc would suffer for it, and I don't think it does. Good stuff.
Now, what do you think of the Fire Force 5?
I like the one who hides, because she realizes they're clearly outmatched here. She was fun.
Alright, so I should probably go, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Alright, I like these two performances. I like how Alexis and Colleen are able to play off of each other with the more traumatic parts of their past in the story arc, and like that was all fun. I like the like when Colleen's character actually like steps on the guys, like the I get a lot of Hino Matsuri vibes off of it because they all yell "Owie! Owie! Owie!" Which, holy shit, that's also a Kyle Phillips dub, isn't it?
Fitting, that's also a show that Kyle dubbed. Yes.
Oh wow.
It is.
I like how Alexis sort of plays Iris as sort of this peppy, young, naive nun in training, and Colleen gets to be haughty and just completely arrogant, and I love it when she gets to do that, because she does it really, really well. So, great performances all around.
So, I really like both of these performances. I can't say much more about Alexis, because she's only kind of had the one really big moment. She has this naivete and patience to her. Like, she's been through some shits, but she's still very positive and very calming, and I think that's kind of what she has to be, because she is a trained nun, and that's her entire life, and she also has absolutely zero firepower. She is absolutely helpless unless the rest of her team is there. But she's also a courageous character, and she stands up to her sister. She goes over to Company 5 by herself to tell her off. But I think that Alexis does a solid job here. To me, the real standout in the segment is Colleen's Hibana, who goes through a lot. Like, she has a real crisis of faith that she has to go through. I do think that this isn't a knock on Colleen, but I do think that the performance could have been a little bit better. Not because of anything she could control, but I do wish that Hibana's arc didn't wrap up so fucking fast. Yeah. Like, I thought that her character was super interesting, and that Colleen was putting a lot into this performance, and she was ripping the very meager strands of meat that were on that bone. Like, Colleen was working it. There's a lot of really kind of crazy things that she goes through where, like, you see that she goes from thinking that her powers are a blessing from God to, oh God, the thing that I've been blessed with has killed everybody I care about. How could this ever be a blessing from God? And then she gets relegated to kind of being this jokey harem member for Shinra, and Colleen does a good job being funny and stuff and stepping on all the guys and beating up Kyle Phillips' character. Because Kyle Phillips is another rookie fire soldier that's on her team, and his thing is, like, he can blow bubbles and make them explode on people. But, I think both of these ladies did a really great job. I just kind of wish there was more meat to their performance. I would not be opposed to Iris or Hibana getting more time, but yeah. Both great jobs. Let's move on to the dads of Company 8.
No.
Hey guys, what's better than one company with DILFs?
2 companies with DILFs?
A company with
2
DILFs?
companies with DILFs. Yes! So let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Akiteru Obi, a man with no powers, all muscle, all heart. Please take care of me. Akiteru Obi could lift me and could bench me, and I'd be so happy.
I get.
But he's the good cop dad.
He is. It's a good thing too, because I shudder to think it would happen.
But every good cop needs a bad cop dad. So there's Takase Hinawa and his hats. Hinawa is a second-generation Fire Force soldier who came from the army, whose power is bullet time.
His power is gone!
Hinawa drives...
Non-lethal bullets my ass.
Hinawa tells you that you have... Hinawa's other superpower is telling you that you have to share the Xbox.
Give your brother controller 1. You get the Mad Catz one this time.
Arthur, Shinra, shut the fuck up and play co-op.
No, Shinra, you got the player 1 controller last time. You get to play with the Mad Catz now.
Speaking as a dad myself, there's a certain point where you don't let them play at all, and you just play in front of them. It's like, fine.
Like going to McDonald's and ordering a single black coffee.
That's exactly what he would do.
Thank you. Hinawa, Benimaru, ordering a single black coffee.
McDonald's.
Playing Akiteru Obi is Jeremy Inman. Playing Takase Hinawa is Christopher Waycamp. Jeremy Inman, you'll know his characters such as Yoshikata and Dagashi Kashi, Goro Oyama in Nick's Meisei Story, and Okarehira in Token Rambu Hanamaru. Christopher Waycamp, you'll know his characters such as Rokusei Kanoji in Classroom of the Elite, Tenka Kumo in Laughing Under the Clouds, and Alexis Lentkin in Steins Gate Zero. It's also time that we point out that Jeremy Inman was an actual fucking firefighter.
Oh, yes.
Jeremy Inman was a firefighter for years. So, he also is the man, the myth, the legend.
I mean, they don't call it in Manime for nothing.
Anyway, Noah Clue, please go ahead.
Well, I feel a little called out on this as being the only person in the group who has actually entered the realm of fatherhood physically. Like, fatherhood is also a spiritual entity. Like, Amon and Roots here are also honorary dads. They are part of the honorary dad squad because it is a state of being. It is a state of responsibility.
I mean, if Steph can be an honorary MILF without having kids, then you three can be honorary DILFs.
Thank you.
Oh dear.
I'm glad to be honorary, although, wait, let me check. Yep, still got kids.
I mean, okay, technically to Jenny, you are a DILF.
Bang it. Bang it.
I'm gonna...
It's not that you're wrong, but if she finds this, I will not be alive. Just want to keep that in mind. And as much as death sounds like, I'm sure it'll be a great adventure, I'm not ready to take that just yet. So let's talk about these characters, because it's a bit of a shame that this show, like a lot of shonen, has a tendency to, once it's established certain characters, will kind of under feature them in favor of new ones coming up. It's like every couple of episodes, like, well, these characters were fun. Let's move on to other characters. And the problem is you've got existing characters who would be perfectly fine with like seeing developed even more. And that's kind of what happens with Chris Waycamp's Hinawa, because he gets a couple of funny parts where like he takes over the cooking, or he's got new hats in every episode, or he basically keeps people in line by, if I remember correctly, shooting bullets, controlling their trajectory, and then hitting people in a non-lethal way, which I call bullshit on. Like, you cannot just shoot guns and not pierce the skin. And he also gives us one of the greatest lines of all time in the episode, of the show, which is, "Wouldn't you like to get your gun baptized?" Or something like that. So, for his actual...
Oh, that's his friend to him, and he's like, no.
Oh, that's right. You're right. That's in the flashback. That's the reason that Hinawa gets his gun baptized, is because his friend said he should. Which, I'm sorry, but if there was anything more fundamental Christian ever, it is getting guns baptized. But let's talk about Chris's actual performance, because he doesn't. The material doesn't give him the chance to be wacky or goofy or really have a whole lot of range. He has to be more on the more stoic side. You know, he has to be the bad cop, as pointed out. But he's not a bad cop. He's the serious one. And it's good that he keeps his calm and cool thoughts throughout, which Chris does a really good job. It's not as deadpan as his Eraserhead voice. It's leveled up a little bit more. But the good thing about it is that you get the sense that there's thoughts in his head, or that he's yearning for more fun or to be part of the group. He just doesn't convey that so much in his emotions, because he has to be serious for the sake of their job, which is essentially to save people's lives. So Chris did a good job on this one. It's very easy to have stoic or deadpan characters be boring, and Chris is not boring. His entire performance has a lot of dynamicism with the bits that he has to work with. I just wish that he had more to do past the few episodes that he's in. Same goes for Jeremy Inman's character. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I said you're in luck for episode 18, because guess who gets to do stuff?
Who could it be? Is it Rekka?
Oh, shut up.
Are there
Anyway.
zombie fire characters? Do they come back from the dead? Wait, are they ghosts? Dude, that could make a whole... Ghost fire demons. Anyways, Obi. Obi is a character. Obi is daddy. And, so yeah, and having a character that's in a team full of superpowered firebenders, having the leader of their group be completely powerless, creates an interesting dynamic that comes up a lot more in the arc that we just got through. But Jeremy's performance is rough, but it's not too low. It's like he's trying to give off the gravitas of someone who is muscular, but he's not trying to give off the lowness of someone who's like way down here. Like, he's not quite at Patrick Scythe lowness, but it's good though, because it helps convey a sense of compassion as well, which he does have. He balances out the serious and the good leadership moments. He has bits where he like gets on the newbies for pulling out their weapons in front of next of kin, because a good part of their job is not just to put the Infernals to rest by killing them, but also to provide comfort to their family members who, you know, have to endure that their family member is gone forever. So Jeremy balances them out really well. And again, another character who I'm glad he has more to do throughout the show. Like, he'll come in and he has some really good parts where he's basically admitting, I'm terrified. I'm actually absolutely scared, but that's not going to stop me from kicking ass and taking names. So like I said, fatherhood is a state of being, and if you can encompass that very well, then you will get all of the fangirls. So speaking of daddy, Amon.
I see. All right. I will start with Hinawa. I like Chris as Hinawa. You know what might be my favorite character in the show? Mostly because he always looks like he's contemplating murdering the idiot in front of him, and I can relate to that as someone who works in the service industry. And I like Chris's performance a lot. I think I agree. I think he's able to be stoic but still get the emotional qualities of the character across. I especially like the moment in, I think it's around episode 11 where he is told what's his name? He's told Shinra like, hey, come make food with me, and he kind of just takes a moment to kind of like check in with him and like, how you doing? And I think moments like that let his performance shine, as it were, just because he usually has to maintain this very serious exterior, but he can put more depth. There's more depth to it than just that. And so, like, I think this is Chris. I feel like this is the kind of role he's good at. There's a reason they cast him as Eraserhead. But I think this is a really strong performance from him. Cricket, I'm trying to talk to people on the internet. You can't just claw.
Hi, kitty.
Oh no, baby!
No, he's all right.
Mr. Cricket.
He wants me to play with him.
You are a daddy.
Yeah. No. I make fun of people who call their pets fur babies. Don't put me on that place.
One of well, not us, but one of them. One of them.
Don't do that to me, Clue. After all we've just Amon's face is Toy Story. After all we've been through.
I like Chris's performance a lot. I think he performs his character well. And I really like Jeremy as Obi. I think he sounds so right. Like, this is the correct voice for this character. He always sounds like he like, I mean, look, I feel like we're goofing a little bit on him being dad, but no, he feels like a dad. He's very much like, he's the guy in charge. He knows what's up, but he's gonna support you. He's got your back. If he's a little hard on you, it's because he wants you to, improve and do better. And not, he doesn't want you to, like, slack off and fart your way to the top. And he's always so very kind of, like, casually awesome, because, he doesn't have fancy superpowers. He has a suit that he can put on. I especially like the one early episode where it takes him so long to get his gear together that the mission's over already. What? It's over? But I just finished getting dressed. He's also he has a lot of fun with the character. I feel like he's good at being, gruff and stern, but also kind of goofy, and occasionally wondering, how did my office get so far away from me? I feel like no one takes me seriously anymore. He has a lot of fun with it. He's really good. I don't know if his own experience as a firefighter informed his performance at all. But like he's good as this character. I like him a lot. I'm a little tired, which is why I keep repeating myself. I apologize.
It's okay.
Nah, Jeremy, good stuff. Thumbs up.
Are you all set, Amon?
Yes. Rich, go ahead.
There's a scene in the fight between Obi and Benimaru, where they're basically like going at it full force against each other, and Benimaru learns that Obi doesn't have any fire powers, and he's just like, why are you doing this? Aren't you scared of flames? And like Obi responds back, yeah, of course, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I can stand up to it. And I think that characterizes Obi's character really well. And also, it signifies the way Jeremy Inman is performing the character of Obi. He's stoic, he's stalwart, he is willing to throw himself on the line to protect the people under his ward. Megan made the jokes about him being basically a dad character, and that is exactly what he is. And I love these sort of grumpy, angry energy Chris Waycamp gives to Hinawa. He's just a big old grumpy doof. And he's a good grumpy little doof. who's gone through some traumatic stuff that he doesn't like talking about, and he, as much as he's kind of, you know, out there and, like, oh, where was I going with this? Like, he does a really good job of being this sort of grumpy, but also willing to, like Obi, put himself in danger to make sure the younger members of the 8th Squad are basically protected. And, like, I really love these two characters and their performances, and I really hope that they continue to get to do cool things for the rest of the show's run.
Right.
Okay, my turn. I'll start with Hinawa first. I think Chris Boykamp's a really interesting choice for this. I mean, obviously, he plays one of the best dads in My Hero as Shoto Aizawa. But I think that he brings a lot of the same energy that Aizawa has to Hinawa, but Hinawa is a bit of a different character. Hinawa is... He is very passionate about his job. And not in the way that, like, Rekka is. This is a man who literally, like, shoots out other people using their firepower. So, like, he shits on Maki all the time, unfortunately. Poor Maki. But, like, literally, like, Hinawa has been through some stuff, like, when in his backstory in the army, where he literally can tell what people are like and stuff, and he's like, that girl works twice as hard, but she's too kind and she's not cut out for killing people. Like, she's a fool about Maki, and then he can't bring himself to kill his roommate and best friend because he didn't have the gun that was baptized. Like, also shout out to Joel McDonald for that part, because that was Joel McDonald.
I thought that sounded like him.
I think I love yeah, that was Joel McDonald. That's the thing I really like about that part where, especially the dynamic between Obi and Hinawa that Jeremy and Chris also bring to it, where, he talks about how thoughtful of a person that Hinawa is, because Hinawa steps in to help him kill an Infernal that another group wasn't going to go after because it wasn't a big name one. And he's like, you came in here and you did all of this without even thinking about it for a second. You're a good person. And then he picks Maki to come with him because Maki is the kind, compassionate person who cares about human life. And Hinawa does have a stick up his ass, and he is a very, like, kind of growly, grumpy-looking motherfucker. But he really is a caring, genuine guy, and I think that Chris gets that across in his performance. And then, Jeremy as Obi is so fucking good. Like, if you've never heard Jeremy Inman act before, this is a real treat for you. And for people like us who have been, like, who've heard him for a long time, maybe not as, like, these big name kind of major ensemble characters, getting to hear him play this, like, rock in voice in their group. And everyone brings up the moment where he's like to Benimaru, where he's just like, I don't have any powers. I'm just gonna, you're not gonna listen to me, so I'm just gonna use my fucking fists. And I'm gonna keep pushing forward, because that's the only thing I can do. Like, also when he stands up to the Fire Force captain who's like, yeah, no, we're not gonna kill this guy. He's like, with all due respect, you should be putting them to rest. It's not about points, it's about human life. But to me, the real thing that really sold me on Jeremy's performance and Benimaru as a character, not Benimaru, and Obi as a character, is all the way as far back as episode 2, where he tells Shinra and Arthur to put their weapons away. Mm-hmm. And he gives this really beautiful speech about how at the end of the day, they are still killing people. He still views putting Infernals to rest as taking a human life. And that your victims can be triggered by this, and you should show them that decency and respect. You're killing their loved one. You are essentially being their murderer. Just put your fucking weapons away, you dumbasses. And that's what really, the way that Jeremy spoke with such, like, firm gentleness and candor was fantastic. And I think this is one of his career best performances, let alone one of the best performances in the show. Also, yes, he did bring some of his experience as a firefighter into it. The line where he goes, "Slow down, Turbo," is actually something he said to somebody on the job.
That's great.
I learned that from Twitter.
Nice.
So let's move into our final group, which we're gonna just finish out Company 8.
Yeah.
We originally were gonna keep one of these characters separate, but for the sake of time, we are just smushing them all together. So there is Kotatsu Tamaki. She's a cat girl. She also has the single worst aspect of the show attached to her, called the Lucky Letter Lure, which isn't so lucky because all it does is cause Tamaki to get sexually assaulted. There is Arthur Boyle. Arthur's an idiot.
He really is.
He thinks he's a knight.
He is very dumb.
Arthur, I would call Arthur a himbo, but he doesn't have enough muscle.
Oh,
It's true.
is that word actually entering our lexicon?
Arthur's dumb. No, himbo entered the lexicon a long time beforehand, but it's the other firefighting thing from Japan that came out this year that has the textbook himbo.
Like, I want to say Arthur is somewhere between a twink and a himbo. Is there such an animal?
He's a twimbo.
There we go.
Twimbo.
Let me get on Urban Dictionary right now and coin that
He's
phrase.
dumb.
Twimbo.
Yeah, a twimbo.
Then there is
He's a
Maki
twinkish
Oze.
himbo.
Maki Oze is a good-hearted... It's a twinkish himbo. Anyway, Maki Oze is a good-hearted fire soldier who loves the idea of being loved. She has two cute fire demons named Flare and Sputter. She is also fucking jacked. Holy shit.
Sputter, 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 sputter.
Maki is like chef's... Maki is the chef kiss for all buff girls this year. She is the patron saint of all of us who into buff girls.
So how heavy are the dumbbells?
And finally, you can't
She
have...
lifts.
Pretty fucking
How
heavy
heavy
for
are
the
the
looks of
dumbbells
things.
she lifts? She literally can lift up like a metal
Yeah.
tanker. She can literally deadlift the entire cast of how heavy are the dumbbells that you lift. And then there's our hero, the man, the myth, the legend, Shinra Kusakabe, who became a fire soldier after his brother Sho and mother were killed. But Sho isn't actually dead, he's alive and played by Justin Briner.
Spoilers.
So, playing... It's not a spoiler, it's on the cast list. There's a disclaimer.
Okay.
We've
There's a
warned
disclaimer.
people. It's fine. It'll be fine. It's
If
fine.
this far into the episode, you've learned your shit.
I wish my brother had grown up to be Justin Briner.
Anyway. Damn, don't we all? Playing... Justin Briner is so nice. Playing Tamaki is Jade Saxton, playing Arthur is Eric Vale, playing Maki is Sarah Roach, and playing Shinra is Derek Snow. Jade Saxton you'll know as characters such as Haru in My Roommate is a Cat, Carla in Fairy Tale, and Un in Show by Rock. Eric Vale you'll know as characters such as Keisuke Umehara in The Big Wind-Up, Yuki Soma in Fruits Basket, and Abe no Sose in Laughing Under the Clouds. Sarah Roach, this is her first big named role.
Hey.
And she was specifically chosen because Maki Seiyu also didn't have very many roles behind her. And Derek Snow, you'll know his characters such as Yagen Toshiro in Token Rambu Hanamaru, Madea Toshi in Kochiki, and Lowen in Dance with Devils. Take it away, Noah
Let's
Clue.
do this. This is a large group to talk about, and probably the most dynamic of them, because being younger members of this company, they're all a little hot-headed and still learning the ropes. But we focus on them a lot, so there's a lot to glean from them. And I'm just gonna come out and say it. I don't like Arthur as a character. His introduction, first of all, is really rushed. He's introduced as we were kind of rivals in Fire Soldier Academy, which is the kind of detail that we'd kind of like to see. And I don't know if we're gonna get a flashback that actually shows what they were like in learning the ropes to become a fire soldier, because by the time we start in the show, all the characters are already professional firefighters. But I don't really like Arthur's entire demeanor, as like he's supposed to be like the second lead boy. He takes on the persona of a knight. He's supposed to be chivalrous. He's also just kind of very full of himself, and he wields a lightsaber, which is not a bad thing. Like we've seen second-in-command characters in shonen shows wield lightsabers that are all, like, sometimes the favorite character. Just look at Kuwabara in Yu Yu Hakusho. I feel safe in saying Arthur Boyle is not Kuwabara. But Eric Vale's performance, though, is perfectly fitting with the character. He's got this very kind of basic voice with a sense of a grumble in the back of the voice. Because he still sounds young. He sounds like he's, like, you know, fresh out of high school kind of age. But he's also just got this punk-like demeanor to him. Despite being portrayed as a knight-like character, he's also just got kind of a punk attitude to him. Makes him a little difficult to control. But yeah, I don't like the character very much. But I can't say that Eric didn't do the character justice. He did exactly what this character called for. Likewise, or I'm sorry, on the opposite end of the spectrum, I really like Maki. First, I really like Sputter. I like the way that the sound mixers have her sentient fire make the sounds like Sputter. It's very adorable and very.
FYI.
Yeah.
Sorry, just to cut in with that. Both Sputter and Flare do have separate voice actresses. Flare is Alex Moore, and Sputter is Jeannie Torado. Yeah,
that was a nice little detail. And I look forward to the 4-comma spinoff that focuses just on their misadventures. But Maki, Sarah's portrayal is twofold, because she has to be serious, businesslike. She has to keep the new boys in check. But in contrast to her outward demeanor, she's also very girly. She's all about, like, do you think he's the one? And she gets very, she gets very sentimental and uses rounded vowels when she gets fangirlish like that, which is not her entire persona. It's not like she's incompetent to the point of being entirely focused on fangirling, because she's very competent at what she does. And Sarah, this is her first big role. It's the kind of role that I can easily see, or the kind of performance I can see her easing into newer, more dynamic stuff. Because Maki doesn't have too much to do in the show, but she is a very good part of the cast. And I like the flashback scene where we kind of see that she was underappreciated because her dad is like a big member of the fire force, and so we kind of helped get her in. But no, she can stand on her own perfectly well. She's just more better suited as a fire soldier than she is a classic original recipe soldier. I don't know what that implies, because we don't see him go to war just yet. Now, let us talk about Jade Saxon's performance for a bit here. So, Tamaki is tsundere, just really tsundere, and there's an archetypal Japanese and English voice that goes with that, and Jade portrays that well here. It's full of high-pitched screams, but also full of some whimpering crying when she gets in trouble, and also vulnerability when needing to be protected. And Jade pulls off all the flavors really well. There's no lines that feel out of place, in contrast to the character design, which I do really like her superpower. I like her kind of like beast-like way that she uses her flame. That's really cool. It is a big shame that most of her scenes involve her getting stripped down, or someone copping a feel, or her clothes just absolutely burning off. Or one scene where she doesn't know how to put on an apron, and so she just shows up in nothing but an apron. It's not funny, it's not titillating, and it's really tone dissonant to what's going on in the scene, because there's scenes where there's serious fighting going on, or training to advance through the ranks. We don't really need this character being sexually assaulted, and it's such a shame that that's her defining characteristic, because I feel like she could use a lot more with the superpower she's got. And finally, Shinra. Shinra is really cool, because in sticking with the Catholic theme of the show, he's got a redemption arc, because everyone thinks that he's a devil, partially because he's got fire powers, and also because he's got a quirk where he can only smile if... he can only deal with being nervous by smiling. When he gets really nervous, his face just kind of tenses up and it goes into this shark teeth smile. I think Derek Snow's performance can best be described as very similar to a Todd Haberkorn impression, and that's a good thing. I mean that in the best way possible, because it comes with that youthful ringing that is very, very close to the kind of hero character that's going to redeem themselves throughout the entire show. So he's not punkish like Arthur, he's not super vulnerable like Tamaki, and he's not yet in charge like Obi is. So for that, Derek Snow did a really good job, and I'm glad to hear him in some more Funimation stuff. The thing I remember him most for is that he played Gusko Badori in The Life of Gusko Badori, which was a pretty good dub. So I'm glad to hear him here. Yes, I will reference everything that was based on Kenji Miyazawa's works when I get the chance.
That's fair.
So
I own that too, by the way.
It's not as good as Night on the Galactic Railroad.
I have yet to watch it.
It's good, it's just not as good as Night on the Galactic Railroad. But anyway, speaking of things that are good as Night on the Galactic Railroad, Amon!
That is a very high bar you've set for me, Noah. You're a true scholar.
One of my favorite movies of the 80s. Thank you.
All right, to start, Noah, you were correct. Arthur is no Kuwabara. Kuwabara is much smarter.
Low bar to clear.
Kuwabara may be book dumb, but he knows what he's doing some of the time. I'm not sure. Aside from having a lightsaber, I'm not sure Arthur's. He got lost, for Christ's sake. Who gets lost?
There will be no Kuwabara slander in this house.
He's not Ryoga. What excuse does he have? Anyways, but I think I do enjoy Eric's performance. I do think I don't hate him, but I'm a little similarly ambivalent. He feels like he's supposed to be a foil for Shinra, but I feel like the story's more interested in Shinra anyway, so he doesn't get to be too foily after the first handful of episodes. But I think Eric does a good job with the character. He feels very theoretically noble, but kind of a dunce, because he's clearly not as like smart and mature as he thinks he is, even if he does have a sweet laser sword. And I think Eric brings that to the character. He is a lot of fun to hear. It's fun to watch him die while trying to do paperwork, because I've been there. It's no fun. I enjoy his performance a lot. I want to give a big shout out, as I think, obviously this is Sarah's first big role, as we already mentioned, and she does a good job here. Like, I like Maki. Maki's cool. Maki helps prove that thing that the truest thing Spike Spiegel ever said is that he loves a woman who can kick his ass, and let's be honest, that's just true in general. It's the most relatable. That's the second most relatable thing he ever said, right after "Do I look like I have money?" And I think she does a good job. She's good at being, she's good at being, the sort of the bubbly and she's very young and has crushes and so on. And she's a lot of fun as that, and she's also very good at being, lady who can bench press giant metal trucks if she wants to. She could probably juggle the rest of Fire Section 8 if she wanted to. Let's be honest here. Strong lady. I enjoy her a lot. She's great. And I'm a big fan. Tamaki. I don't get Tamaki.
You don't?
I have various baseless theories as to why she's here, ranging from editorial interference to just the fact that the magazine it's published in seems like it's kind of horny in general, if I'm being honest. This is where, what's his name, who does Love Hina, got his start, in addition to being the Fairy Tale guy's major home, so... but I think for the character Jade has been given, I do think she does a good job. She is probably not good enough to kind of get over what the character has to do, but she's at least giving it her all. She is having fun. And even if she doesn't kind of paper over the... well, to give probably the worst example, the incredibly mood-spoiling fan service bit during the fight with...
Rekka.
Rekka.
Thank you, Rekka. like, Jade is at least giving it her all. I think it is a good performance, even if the character themselves is questionable, to say the least. So, like, no slight on her for that. She is doing the best of what she can, and I do think she is doing a good job.
What pisses me off is that you would think, like, okay, maybe other characters would get their own clothes burned off as well, but there's one scene where Arthur gets, like, his clothes scratched by fire. Only scratched. Not torn off like Tamaki had. Just like a little scratch. If he was a girl, if he had breasts, that entire shirt would have been shredded to pieces. You know it would be.
Unquestionably. No, unquestionably. Frankly, I am surprised there is not more male-centric fan service in this show, because I don't feel like it's against that, and they have a perfectly good excuse. Anyways, having said all that, I now must present the question that has been everyone has been wondering to themselves the entire night. Who gave Dr. Danny his own show? Who did this? Who?
Who gave what?
Who gave Dr. Danny his own show?
Oh, god damn it.
Because my introduction to Derek Snow was watching him in Angels of Death, where he plays a really warped mad scientist with an eyeball fetish. And I liked him then, and I like him here now. I appreciate the fact that Funimation has a bunch of these sort of long, indeterminate ending shonen series running around at this point, and they have made a very conscious effort to diversify the main cast of most of these. Like, whoever you got My Hero, you got Black Clover, you got this going on, you got others.
Dr. Stone.
There's clear point of, like, we're not going to have...
You got Dr. Stone.
Exactly. Like, and there feels like there's a very conscious effort of, like, we are not going to have the same lead actors in most of these shows if we can help it. Obviously, some of their casts are so big you're going to get overlap regardless, but there's very much like, all right, Justin's already doing My Hero, Dallas is already doing Black Clover. All right, we have Fire Force. Who do we have who can fit this vocal range but isn't them? Because double casting them, in addition to being really exhausting for them as actors, like, that's lazy. Let's pick other talent. Like, we have a big enough acting pool. And I like the fact that Derek's been given this opportunity. I like him as an actor. I think he's good here. He's good at the whole, fiery young man trying to prove his way, and he can shoot fire out of his feet. How cool is that? Yeah. And he's just he does it well, and I think as I said, for a lot of these characters, he can do, like, sort of the funny actiony shonen stuff, and he can also do the more dramatically heavy stuff where he's talking about, like, his origin and what his backstory is, and how this guy Joker's been following me around and he keeps telling me things, and I don't quite like it, but I think he might be telling the truth too. It's a good strong performance. It's nice seeing someone like Derek, who I think is, like, a good actor who has not had opportunities to be a major lead all that often, at least in the things I've seen him in, get this opportunity and be able to do so much with it. So, like, I am opinions of my opinions of the characters aside, I am happy with all these performances, and I'm glad they're here. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get Tamaki out of the way. I thought Jade Saxon seemed like she was having fun with the character, despite, the very glaring, obvious, like, over-the-top fan service, like, way over the top for a show like this. She's doing the best with what she's got. Not doing that bad of a job. Overall, just solid performance where she can. Sarah Roach being her first big major role in Funimation. She's doing a really great job with it. She plays Maki with this nice bravado and, like, some pep, some energy. Like, one thing I don't like, though, is the way her character is portrayed in the first couple episodes, where the men are basically calling her an ogre. Like, no. She's cool. Screw you guys. Eric Vale plays Arthur Boyle as a big doof. It's fun. I actually do enjoy the character for being a big doof. He is definitely a moment of brevity when it is needed. And I think Eric lends himself very well to that. Also, really good to see Derek Snow in a lead role in a show. Like, I really like his performance as Dr. Danny, and, yeah, it's really great to see him in something like this, where, you know, like Amon said, these long-running shonen shows, they tend to need different actors as the main protagonist, just because doing a bunch of these at once is kind of taxing on the voice, so having a bunch of different people being able to play big shonen-y protagonist characters, like, that's a good thing, and I'm really glad Derek Snow got this opportunity. So, great, solid performances all around, thumbs up.
Awesome. So, I'll go ahead and go. Jade's doing her best with what she's got, because Tamaki ain't much. I feel bad, because it's like, this is going to be seen as insulting her work and insulting her character. No, Jade does a really good job. Jade makes her banter good and snappy. She gets the delivery right. She even has, like, I think one time she actually manages to, like, slip in a stealth cat noise. Because Maki's a cat, Tamaki's a cat.
No!
It's just a shame that her character literally has the single worst fucking thing in the entire show. Because, like, we're not kidding when, like, the Lucky Lecture Lure pops up at the worst time. Like, episode 10 goes from being, like, really intense to being fucking infuriating. No, sorry, 9. It's 9. Goes from being really intense to fucking infuriating. It is, like, absolutely balls hard to watch. Because it is just fucking awful. And Jade does a really good job keeping her head up. Like, I'm sorry, I fucking hate it. Literally, there's nothing funny. Okay, God, I don't want to take up more time on this because this episode's already really long. Okay, Tamaki's already been humiliated enough.
Yeah.
She has literally been beaten to the point of tears. And they, like, do this really long, like, kind of creepy fetishy shot of when Shinra's like, "Are you okay?" And she's just, like, trying to hold it back, and she shakes her head and starts to cry and tries to look tough. You've already humiliated this girl enough as it is. Like, you don't need Shinra, like, running into her titties in the middle of, like, a really, really intense fight. Just saying.
Yeah.
But Jade does Jade. And that's not something I'll ever complain about. Like, it's Jade Saxton doing what she's the best at. And that's really solid. It's not winning any awards, but it's also not infuriatingly bad. Sarah Roach does a great job as Maki. I think that the character hasn't done enough, so I really want her to do that, but she gets the humor down, she gets the delivery down. I do also agree with Roots that the whole fucking ogre thing is dumb as fuck. Maki is a beautiful princess. Anybody who thinks otherwise is weak and wrong.
And they will not survive the winter.
They will not.
Survive the winter. Arthur, Eric Vale is perfect as Arthur. In my mind, Arthur Boyle is just a more tolerable Black Star.
That's not really a low bar.
And that includes
Really
the
a
perform.
high bar to clear.
And I love Brittany Karbowski to pieces, but I think this is a much more solid performance for that type of character. I think he plays Arthur with ham and he's bombastic, he's hammy, he's a fucking riot. We're not talking about it, but there's a moment where Arthur has a donkey's head on his crotch in a later episode. But I mean, like, literally, to me, the moment that Eric, I think, like, if you need to see, and I know it's a clip that Funimation put up too, to see how well Eric nails Arthur, they put a clip up of when he's like, "That's just a little old man dressed as a little girl," and he kicks them in the face.
Funny.
And everyone's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And that's also just, like, one of the best ensemble moments, too, because they're all just yelling at him, and he's just like, "That I'm not wrong." And he's just, like, keeping it, and he's just saying things wrong, and he's a fucking riot. And I really want to compliment Derek Snow as Shinra. He is phenomenal, and as somebody who has gone through the Otome anime trenches, Seeing Derek Snow nail this is not a surprise to me. I've watched a lot of stuff that Derek's in. Derek has never made me, like, not impressed. Like, I've genuinely been a fan of the guy for, like, upwards of 4 years. And it was really funny. Everyone's like, who is this new guy, Derek Snow? I'm like, shut your mouth, children. Derek Snow has been in all of these things. And I brought this up in the Kochiki episode, where it's like, no, a lot of these actors who are getting these big name shonen have been in other things. Quite a lot, actually. Like, Justin Briner was doing really good lead work in the year before he was Deku. Dallas Reed was doing a lot of lead work before he was Asta. Aaron Dismuke has been around the block a long time before he was Senku. Like, I think that Derek is great. I think there are times that I don't think that he sounds like another actor. I think Derek sounds like Derek. Because I'm really used to Derek's voice. Derek Snow has a voice that I would find anywhere. And that's not a bad thing. Like, I really genuinely like the way that he talks. I like the way that he plays Shinra as... Shinra acts like a 16-year-old and he sounds like a 16-year-old. So, big thumbs up to Derek. And I'm happy to see him get a big get where he's a big lead character on Toonami and stuff. And Shinra reminds me a lot more of a very gruffer version of his character Rill from Black Clover, who is also an energetic spazball, but he's I don't think he's as complex as Shinra is. With that, let's get our final thoughts out of the way.
Fine, take 1 minute to do this because I don't think there's anything new to really cover here. Because this is, like I said, this is a dub. It's very competent. It does not require very much depth, I don't think, because it's not a very complicated show. It's it's a it's a character redeeming themselves through their reputation. It's lots of different characters dealing with kind of a big conspiracy that we're learning more about. And through the whole thing, we meet lots of interesting characters with interesting superpowers and interesting voices to go with it. And this is a very easy show to just watch a couple episodes at a time. Like, the one thing I don't like sometimes is when shows, like, one batch of episodes doesn't exactly tie into another batch of episodes, but that's just kind of the way that shonen works. And Funimation has proven they know how to do Toonami-worthy shonen very well. So, for dub on this one, I don't really have any qualms with it. Guys, keep doing what you're doing and finish off the show strong.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. This is good. I like this dub. I think it's a really strong dub. I don't think the show is perfect, but I do think it is. Like, the parts I like about it far outweigh the things that I don't. I think it's a good fun shonen show. The direction of it is often a little more artistic-y than I expect out of shows like this, which is fun. And I think there's a really strong dub that's going along with it. I'm happy this is being broadcast on Toonami. I think that's a good place for it, and I think this feels like a show that I would want more people to be able to see easily. Just because I think it's a good fun romp. Kudos to the whole cast and crew. I think this is really well done, and I am really enjoying it.
Alright, so in spite of some very obvious flaws with, depiction of women and, stuff like that, the dub itself is actually really fun. I'm actually, despite the fact that I don't have Adult Swim anymore, or Cartoon Network, I'm really glad this is on Toonami for a broader audience to check out. The dub is solid. It's fun. It blends in really well with the animation, and overall great experience so far with the 14 episodes I've seen.
All right. So, I think that the show is a very, very flawed shonen romp. Do I think it's as strong as its, I guess, spiritual predecessor, Soul Eater? No. I do think the dub might be a tiny bit stronger. The Soul Eater dub has always been a point of contention for some folks. I genuinely liked it, and one of the things I really do want to compliment is that this show has absolutely zero overlap in its main characters with Soul Eater. Like, thank you, Jesus, that this was like, we're gonna go with this route. We're gonna go with a very similar cast. So I do really appreciate that. I really think that despite the show's flaws, the dub is really worth checking out. I think that the casting on it is rather creative. I think that it really is going to introduce the mass audience to a lot of actors who we might be a little bit more familiar with, but they aren't. Overall, I don't think that the effort on this is lackluster or anything. I think it burns bright, and it's a very solid dub. For the sake of time, if you want to check out Fire Force, you can check out the sub on Crunchyroll, and you can check out the dub on Funimation. As of the time of this recording, home video is not anything planned for the upcoming future as of, I think, up to February of next year. Anyway, if you would like to follow us, you can follow Noah at Noah Clue. He also has a YouTube channel that he uses sometimes called Journey Traveler. If you'd like to follow Almondul, you can follow him at Almondul US, where he can give you dusty old songs and stuff. If you'd like to follow Roots, you can follow him at Roots of Justice. He posts pug pics, shit posts. He also has a blog that he's working on and might be writing for the fandom post again. If you'd like to follow me, you can follow me at QueenR2. I shit post and probably post a lot of Switch pictures of my Pokemon Shield playthrough, where my character is literally a void-eyed demon lady. If you would like to support us, and you would like to do it for one time, you can support us with buying us a coffee. If you'd like to support us on the regular, you can do that via Patreon. And if you become one of our $10 patrons, you can enter into our raffle, our quarterly raffle, to get to potentially pick an episode that we do. Alright, so we have our $5 tier. I know, it's midnight. So we have our $5 patrons, Crimson Echidna, Michelle Travis, Nico Robin, Butt with Yowie Hands. And our $10 tier, Carly Lesticow, Jacob Wilson, J2, aka Jared, Marco Bermudez, Marissa Lenti, and We Be. Amon, very quickly, dusty old song.
Yes, this is a hard one because fire is like the third most written topic in the entirety of popular music. I was originally going to suggest the song Fire in the Forest by David Cillian because I like that one, but I'm still annoyed by the whole Firestarter thing, so no, the dusty old song is Firestarter by the Prodigy, because the Prodigy rule!
Yes!
We also have a dusty old song by our friend Jamal when he suggests Disco Inferno.
That's also
With that being said, everybody say goodnight.
Fire on.
Rock on Boston, rock on Cleveland.
Say goodnight, children.
This was a weird episode. Thank you all for joining us. Aloha.
And
Good night, everybody. And next up on the Dub Talk channel, how to cook your toddlers. Good night.